to the bathroom then to find out if there's quick left. I'll be back in a minute.
No, that's no problem.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's so pretty.
That picture's messed up.
Oh, aye, that one, it's just, it's no Matt Mercer.
No, it's not. I'll be back.
No worries.
Sound all good.
Everything sounds alright.
Sweet. Happy days.
Somebody's smoking grass outside.
Smoking grass outside.
Do you know, I was doing research about like the GPUs and stuff like that. See the cheapest GeForce RTX, right? Now I've got the GeForce RTX 3070 Ti, right? That's what I've got on my PC. So it's a big beast, right? When I was looking at it, the retail price of the 3070 Ti is $600, which is expensive, right? But the cheapest or the average price of that one on eBay is almost $1,200, right? Which is a 92% increase. But
Yeah, that's crazy.
oh, I've just noticed that it hasn't admitted us. Oops. I've been talking about licking boobs and stuff. But it's like the cheapest one, like the cheapest, the RTX 3060, the I don't know, I need to get that straight because I'm here myself. Like the cheapest that the 3060 is coming in at is $330, which is still a chunk for like the average fucking gamer to be paying. Like eBay, the average eBay price is $700 for that. Because obviously you can't get a fucking GPU anywhere right now. Yeah,
it's kind of ridiculous, isn't it?
But like the more and more that I was looking at, like there's the GTX 1650, the RRP is $150, and then there's like the 1060 3GB at $200 and stuff like that. But that's for used GPUs. That isn't a new GPU. That means like for a new GPU, the cheapest that you're getting them is like $300-400, which is insane. That's only one part of a computer you're having to pay that kind of money for.
All right, I'm back. We're going to roll the stinger in about 5 seconds here. So shut your faces.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right, rolling stinger.
Welcome to the drunk tank. Take a shot and much thanks for you coming out tonight. Have a seat and come in, yeah. Now turn the lights down low. Drinks are in the back. We're about to start the show. Okay, landed and killed in the land of the free. Coming together to spread all the peace. There's more to the story than you'll ever see. Hear out both sides before you just agree. Some of it's funny and some of it's deep. Open your mind and I can guarantee that we will leave you on the edge of your seats. Now over to Dox and the man Chris, you see, okay.
Well, as Matthew McConaughey would say, all right. Hey, what's up, boy? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the drunk tank. Chris, welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing today?
I was doing all right until you tried to be Matthew McConaughey. I'm being honest.
My Matthew McConaughey is just fine, all right? Go fuck yourself.
It was not all right.
How you doing, man? Looking forward to the show today?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of.
Like, it's been a long week.
It's been a long week. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. But first, we got a guest joining us. So we're going to roll that footage, and then we'll bring on today's guest. I've only seen this once. That's good. Let's fucking go! Oh my god! Wow, that was fancy. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Billbob Gaming. What's up, Billy?
What's going on, guys? I appreciate you having me.
We appreciate you being on. Chris, fancy. We getting fancy with shit now, ain't we?
Yeah. Also, the audio did play, and it also picked up you saying, I wonder if the audio played.
You know what? We ain't professionals, okay? The day we're professionals, the day the show doesn't work. So, suck it. But anyway, For those of you that don't know Billbob, he is a Twitch streamer, a first-person shooter fuckboy, an Apex Legends and a Pokemon aficionado. So please welcome to the show, Billbob. Anyway, what's going on, boys? How's your day? How's your week?
All right.
Nice.
Been chilling for most of the week, really.
Yeah, that's good. Taking it easy.
Yeah.
At least one of us should after the week I've had and the week Chris has had. Holy shit. Anyway, we got a long show today. We got a lot to discuss. Interesting discussions coming up. Got an interesting topic for the reason we wanted to bring you on, Bill. We've got some interesting topics we want to discuss, especially Chris, we want to talk about the differences between console and PC gaming and why, and the cost, the barrier for entry. So, Billbob, you're primarily a console streamer, correct?
Yep, that is correct.
Nice. So we wanted to get you on for your perspective because I started streaming on PC because I wanted to make sure my production was a certain level and I had the ability. I had a mid-tier laptop that could handle some stuff. So I made the choice to go PC for production reasons. Now I know a lot of people don't have that option, and I have a lot of streamer friends who are console streamers, and I wanted to get your perspective on it. Not only the differences between PC and console, but the reception of PC and console, because I know there's a lot of difference, and there's a lot of sort of, I don't want to say hate for console streamers, but there's a lot of things that console streamers that have to deal with that PC streamers don't. And I wanted to kind of see if you had experienced any of that. But let's get through the opening rounds first. Disclaimers as always. If you are joining us for a drink live or watching via VOD, please make sure you are of legal drinking age in your country of residence. 2, don't drink and drive or text and drive. And please remember to drink responsibly. Let's go around the map and see what everybody's drinking. Chris, what are you drinking today?
I am drinking... I'm drinking Bailey's, but this is the luxury chocolate one because I thought, I'd be fucking fancy today. And it tastes like melted down chocolate. It's actually fucking nice. I put some ice in it, which I probably shouldn't have because it's making it kind of go like it's like switching colours midway through. But like, it's actually really, really nice. It's smooth. It's got that little, like, you're drinking alcohol. It's got that wee kick at the end where it kind of goes up over 18s. But other than that, it's actually, I can sit and drink it. I mean, I've also got my ginger wine and like my beer, but that's my main one, and it's actually quite nice. I like it.
Nice.
I definitely recommend the luxury chocolate one. I don't know, the normal Irish cream one. I think it's just going to be shite. Like compared to that.
Better than the layer cake you had last week?
Well, the layer cake I could drink. The layer cake was actually god awful. Like, considering some of the beers that I've drank, it was actually that bad. It was actually, there was that chocolate hint with the marshmallow aftertaste. It was the overpowering and crap like other ones that we've done before.
Right. That's good.
I'm not going to complain about this one. I can sit and drink this one.
That's good. Out of my fridge, I just grabbed Pelican's Brewery's Kiwanda pre-prohibition cream ale. Sort of, it's not bad. I had it this summer when I got out here. It's like a local thing. It's your standard hoppy, creamy, ale-y thing. It's really good. I mean, I can't describe it because it falls into my description of above outboard and below the bourbon barrel cream ale. So it's kind of like, it's in that same vein. It's a very sort of even cream ale, good hoppy malt, good bitterness, good cream finish, good golden amber, all that. Like it's good. It's a good, like, middle of the road, like, but yet not your standard bullshit beer.
Yeah.
It fits my beer snob sort of affectation that everybody seems to have. But anyway, let's move on. We're not going to talk about what Bill's drinking because we don't talk about that here.
No.
So Bill can go fuck himself.
Everybody knows I've got Dox's favorite beer right here,
No,
and everybody knows that. Like
no.
Dox, he's hiding it. He's hiding it. He loves the fact that I've got this beer right here.
No,
he just
He's
he's
loves
actually
not.
the
quite
fact.
jealous. Before we went live, he was actually messaging me about how jealous he was that he hadn't been able to go to the shops to get that.
You guys are lying, motherfuckers. So both of y'all get the double dubs. Budweiser is garbage.
I'm pretty
They said
sure
it a
you
bunch.
said in a previous stream that Budweiser was like the gatekeeper to like a night out or something like that. I'm sure.
You have said that. All right, those words will never cross these lips. Never. I will drink Outboard every day before. I'll drink the boysenberry pie I had this week before I drink a Budweiser. 100%. Hate that shit. It's swill. But I'm not going to begrudge a man's taste. I'll just insult him for it.
See that whole
That's
rant?
fine.
He
That's
won't be
fine.
having that when Budweiser come calling and say, we'll pay you some pennies to...
You'll be
To
drinking
sell
you'll be drinking Budweiser. I'll be like, well, Chris will take it. I
If
won't.
Budweiser came to us and said, here's a couple of pounds, I'd fucking bathe in the shit.
I mean, I wouldn't drink Budweiser. I might drink one of their upper end beers, but not like Budweiser. Like they've got other stuff, but I'm not drinking Bud. No offense to people that drink Bud, except for Chris and Bill because they're idiots. Nah. But if you drink Bud because it's what you can afford and what you like, that's fine. I can't stand the shit. I can't do it. Can't do it.
I didn't know having a drink was an elitist kind of classist thing.
No.
I know, yeah.
Why you gotta do that, Chris? Why you gotta spin it like that, asshole?
I'm not spinning shit.
You know what I mean. Don't fuck with me like that.
You're the one discriminating against Budweiser drinkers.
I ain't discriminating against Bud, not the drinkers, just the beer itself. Oh my God. It's been a week, boys. It's been a week. Bill, let's start with you. How was your week? Give us a rundown of what it's like. Day in the life, week in the life of the Billbob Gaming, the monster, Apex Legends player.
Literally, most of the time, just being a dad. Obviously, I've got 3 kids at home, so just spend most of the day looking after the kids.
Right.
Stressful days.
Your kids, what do you expect? Stress.
Yeah. So definitely. Yeah. My eldest is 7. 3 going on 4 next month, and then 17 month as well. So handful. Yeah.
You got the range. I got all teenagers, bro. I got a 20-year-old, I got 2 14-year-olds, and I got a 13-year-old. So yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. They can look after me then.
No, you think that, but it's not like that. It's not like that at all.
I've got freedom.
And you've got freedom because you're you. Don't you, Bill? Don't you got a pet of some kind too?
I have a bearded dragon, which is right next to me here.
Nice. I don't have a beardy. I've never had one. So what's it like being a bearded dragon owner?
Amazing, to be honest. I've had originally, you all know UK's Monster. He's been a guest on the podcast before. The lid was actually only a baby, and her first owner was actually UK's Monster. Me and Monster are good friends, like outside of Twitch. And I've had Shadow for going on 6 years now.
Nice.
5 years, sorry, not 6. But yeah, she's like in my cave with me all the time. Whenever we're just hanging out, she just chills in the vivarium. She's amazing, like literally. You can just keep her out and she'll just chill. She's even good with the kids as well. The kids can hold her, stroke her, like underneath her mouth and top of her head and everything. She's fine with the kids. So
nice.
Yeah, having a bearded dragon is amazing, especially with having kids as well.
Yeah. I've had dogs and cats and ferrets, but never a lizard. Bernadette wants to get like goats and a snake and all this other shit. And I'm like, I'm cool with the snake and some ferrets, but nah, I don't want the other shit.
See, I did want a snake, but yeah, the missus who is in chat now, as you can see, Jodes, yeah, she won't allow that.
Nice.
I once almost had a lamb. It was when I was working for Iceland as a delivery driver. Like this was like 10, 11 years ago. And I was doing a delivery and I was driving by a farm and they were selling, or it wasn't even that they were selling, it was just that the farm, they couldn't afford to run. So they were like selling off their stock. And they had like lambs and sheeps and cows and all that, and they were selling a lamb for like £100 each. And I was, I'm gonna fucking buy a lamb. So I bought a lamb, and I was driving it back to the shop. And it wasn't until I got back to the shop where I went, "Fuck, what am I gonna do with a lamb? I live in a fucking flat. Like I'm literally 2 up in an apartment. What the fuck am I going to do with a lamb?" So I ended up finding like a sanctuary and like gave it in there as a kind of like that would be better. But aye, that was an interesting time. Like there's been a lot of times where I've almost pets where I've went like somebody's turned, like when I ran a football team, one of the lassies worked on a farm and she offered me like a piglet, and I was I'm taking a fucking pig home. And then it wasn't until I was about to go home with the pig where I went, again, where the fuck am I going to store a pig? Like, I need to stop with these impulse fucking purchases where I just
impulse
go,
pets.
Fuck it. Like, I'll take everything home.
Fucking impulse pets. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like my daughter that lives here, like my kids are spread out. Like 2 of my kids live with their biological mom. 2 of the kids live with here, and the other one I don't. We're not getting into that, but. Anyway, like my daughter here on the farm was like, "Can I have ferrets? Can I have this? Can I have that?" I'm like, "We live in a 5th wheel trailer. You're sleeping in the living room on a roll-up mattress. Can we get all the living shit sorted first before we add ferrets on top of the dog and your brother and you and me and your mom? And then there's chickens and goats and a pig on the farm. Can we get our shit straight first before we bring other living beings into this mess?" And,
you know what you should do? You should say that they can get ferrets, but it has to be a swap deal.
Right? That's what I was
You'll
that was
take
gonna
the
be
ferrets, they take the children.
That's what I'm talking about. I like that idea. I'll pitch it at the next family meeting. But man, yeah, so you got the bearded dragon, you got the 3 kids running around, you got the significant other, because I don't know if you're married, a girlfriend or what, so I'll call it the significant other.
Fiance, yeah, we're engaged.
Engaged, congratulations.
I appreciate it, thank you.
I've been married, been divorced, I don't know, it's a thing. It's a thing. It's a thing. I don't my feelings on marriage have, when I got divorced, I was super cynical, and I'm still kind of like, I don't know. I'm in that middle space now with marriage and everything, because I've been with Bernadette 10 years, and everybody's been like, "Oh, well, when are you guys gonna get married?" And I'm like, "We're not." And they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "I've been there one and done," and now I'm like, "I don't fucking know." I was like viciously against it. Now I'm just indifferent. So I don't know. Maybe they're wearing me down. Finally, after 7 years, chat is roasting you, Billy. Roasting you.
Yeah.
So, for those of you that are new to the show, Dox is a little extra scruffy today because I got roped into No Shave November this week on stream. Because me and my big mouth, we were sitting there talking about getting our nails done and whatnot. Because the last podcast, everybody was like, "Oh, get your nails done." Well, I was getting my nails done, and a bunch of chatters, a bunch of boys were like, "Well, why don't you join us for No Shave No Nut November?" I was like, "Nope, that's not happening." They're like, "What about No Shave November?" I was like, "You'll have to pay me for that." And then chat went, and I did the streamer mistake. Well, y'all gonna have to pay me for that. And then chat went, "How much?" And me not being like one of those streamers who are like, 10 gifted and I'll do X, Y, and Z, right? I'm not one of those guys. I was like, I don't know, if we get like another couple subs or whatever, I'll do it for shits and giggles, right? Because I'm not used to being like, "Oh yeah, well if you give me 20 gifted, I'll do this," right? I'm not that guy. So the minute I say a couple more subs, I'm like, "Yeah, if we get a couple more subs, whatever, I'll do it." Not even thinking about it, right? My brain just idly not even thinking about it. Sure enough, fucking 10, 15 gifted rolled in. I was like, fuck.
Oh shit.
I don't want to November. I hate this. This I like, this I hate. And it's like 6 days in, and I'm like, couldn't I just cut my skin off? And my girlfriend's like, no, you opened your mouth and they paid you, so you gotta suffer. And she don't like this either. She's like, you're scruffy, go away. I'm like, woosah. Just, it's gonna be a rough month, boys. It's gonna be a rough month. What about you, Chris? How was your week? It's been a long week for you. It's been a long week for me, but let's start with you because I got a lot of shit to get off my chest.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not been massively, like, terrible, no, it's just been a busy-ass fucking week. So we're going through some changes work-wise, and, like, it's just a case of just trying to get all that sorted, and then I've had another couple of projects that I've been trying to get sorted, and then want to try and get a wee bit more streaming in. Like, it was actually quite good, like, I mean, Tuesday was an issue.
What happened?
Because I thought I had time to play games with Billbob, and it turned out I was forgetting things rather than having free time.
Right.
So there's been the last couple of days. It's been a case of I've got time to play games, so what am I forgetting? And I've been proper paranoid because, like, what had happened is on Tuesday I'd met a lovely female companion on a well-known dating site. All dating sites are good, like just
farmers.com.
Yeah, we're just not going to talk about the actual one because unless they pay us.
Right.
And,
no naming here until they pay us. I got you.
But literally within 3 hours of my day and other work, I'd completely fucking spaced on the fact that I'd literally had a conversation with them saying that I would go out for dinner. So, like, the whole point of it was that, like, at like 5 o'clock, like, I have the text messages at 5 o'clock. I was what we'll do is I'll pick you up, we'll go out for something to eat, it'll be nice, all that kind of stuff. And then at like, I was supposed to pick her up at like the back of, I think it was like 7ish. I was supposed to pick her up, and then at 6:30, Billbob went online playing Apex. So I messaged and I was like, yo, I'll come play Apex with you because I've literally got free time. It's the first night in a long time that I've actually got time to just sit and do what I want. So we ended up sitting playing that, and because I'm one of the people that my phone goes constantly. I don't have my phone on; it's on silent. That's it. Because if I was to time it on, like at the moment, if I go anything, look, there you go, boom, bunch of notifications just within the last couple of minutes because it's just constantly going. We get texts, emails, and all that. So I leave it on silent because it will just interrupt my entire life. But what I hadn't realised is then I was too focused on playing Apex, trying to get my first kill. Which then entailed that it was what time was it? It was about the back of 10, Billy, wasn't it? When
something like that. Yeah.
I finally looked at my phone, and that's where I found the 7 text messages, 13 missed calls, and it was just like that. Honestly, hold on, where is it? I'll get text.
I wouldn't mind though. He tried like palming the blame off on me. He's like, yeah, no, you was playing Apex. I come and play games with you. It's like, don't switch this on me. You forgot about your day, not me.
It was like we'd agreed all this at like fucking 5 o'clock, and then just before 6 o'clock she was like, just so long as you can still pick me up, and I was like, I'll pick you up around 8 o'clock. So that was at like 6, and then at like 10 past 6 she was like, I can't wait, here's a wee kissy emoji, and I didn't reply to that because like that's for children. I'm not fucking dealing with that shit. But then that's where I then went on to Apex and got super hooked. So it was like 10 past 8. What kind of card do you have? Then 8:15. What time will you be here? 8:30. Chris? 5 to 9. What's happening? 9 o'clock. Can you answer your phone? 2 minutes past 9. What the fuck? 9:30. I'm guessing tonight is off. 5 to 10. You're a cunt. 10 past 10. Go fuck yourself. Delete my number. And then it was that last one where I seen my phone light up and I looked at it and went, Billy, I fucked up. We have an issue.
Wow.
Tuesday was not a great night for me in that department. So I've been having to try, like, I've been writing shit down there, like the amount of fucking calendar notifications I've been getting for things that I need today, because I thought, you know what, that's it, that is the kicker, because I keep on forgetting stuff, and like ADHD and all that kind of stuff is just
Right.
what it is, but like, because I'm doing so much now, I need to start actually paying attention to shit, because like, that's one of the reasons why we're trying to change things for work and all that kind of stuff, because it's like, I need to be able to get that balance, because it's just a case of, like, even like my parents and that have been saying it, I'm spending like 90% of my time either in front of this computer doing work, or just out. I'm like, I've not even actually been out the house unless it's been at work.
Right.
So it's like, and it was kind of this week when I've been sitting looking at it, and like, I've literally ballooned back up to my original weight was when I started losing weight the first time 4 years ago.
Right.
So I've basically like doubled what my weight was, and it's just been me sitting doing work or sitting on the computer doing other things. And I was like, do you know what? This week alone, it was nice being able to just sit and game and not have to actually worry about shit. Like, I was able to just, like, I'd done another extra couple of streams that I normally don't do, and it was just nice being able to go, I'm going to do this shit as well. So I'm hoping for some change, and I can actually start, because I don't want to just be able to do the work on the computer. I want to be able to do, like, see my nephews, see my family, see friends. Like like my sister and my pal for school came up last night, and we sat and just reminisced, had a couple of drinks, and it was just nice being able to actually talk to people and know with a headset on.
Right, exactly. It's nice for human interaction. That's not through a camera with a headset on. But yeah, no, you made a great point. And before we got other stuff before we get into the discussion, but I wanted to hit on it. Bill, what do you think of the work-life balance that Chris brought up? Like, going out of getting off the computer and finding that balance, because you're a dad like I am, and you do this for a living. Like, what's your thoughts on the work-life balance?
To be honest, it's crazy. Like, with my eldest son, when he was born, I was working in a restaurant at the time. So doing the hours there was absolutely ridiculous. So literally from him being newborn up until 1.5, 2 years old, I was in the restaurant doing 10 to 14 hours a day, depending. So then it was really hard. Obviously, I wasn't streaming. Obviously, I'm still gaming when I had time, if I had time. Do you know what I mean? Outside of work, but other than that, yeah, it was literally just work. As soon as you come home, it'd be shower, something to eat, bed. Do you know what I mean? And get ready for the next day. But then come to the most recent years now with the baby, because I'm currently like out of work. But with the baby, I'd probably say it's even more stressful, to be honest, being at home, obviously having the 3 kids. Obviously, the 2 elder ones go to school. We still got the baby at home, but then once like the elder ones get back from school, it's just craziness, as you know yourself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just
it's just go.
Always on the go. Yeah, constant. It's constant. So even when it comes to like bedtime, do you know what I mean? You get them in bed, it's still always on the go.
Did you shower? Did you brush your teeth? You got your PJs on? Did you use the bathroom?
It's a pain. And then, they're just in and out of bed as well. Like, oh, can I have a drink? Or I needed to go toilet? Or, do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I did used to stream of the morning, because that was the best time, like during school hours. But now the baby's getting older, he's a bit more demanding and more wild.
Can't just throw him in the crib.
To the evening time. Yeah, I've switched it up to the evening time now. So once they go to bed, that's when I'm able to get my game time in and stuff like that. But sometimes as well, like if, say, of the morning going into the afternoon, if he has a little nap during the day, I'll come up, have a couple of games for half hour to an hour, depending. It just depends if I don't have like other things on as well. Obviously, I've got a house to run, do you know what I mean, clean, whatever. So, but yeah, trying to find that chill time can be hard sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
no.
when it does come, it's nice.
Yeah, like with me, like since I moved out to Oregon, I was as everybody knows who's been on the channel, and you know Bill and everybody, I was working 45 hours a week as a security supervisor. I'd come home, I do most of the cooking and the grocery shopping, and take the dog for a walk, and then try and be like dad, and then boyfriend, and then dog dad, and then when everything settles down, all right, then stream for 4 or 5 hours, then do 3-4 hours of editing or background work. So I would literally get up the last year before we moved out here. I would literally get up at 5:30 in the morning, go to bed at 2:30 in the morning, because I was working, streaming, editing, dad, trying to fit it all in, and it wasn't working. Like I was hitting my head against the wall. But when we moved out to Oregon, it was like, okay, you don't have a job, which drove me nuts, put me in a dark place, but try to get your disability and then work on the stream. Well, I didn't have my studio up for like 4 months. Now that the studio's up and the disability stuff is in the process, my schedule now is get up at 9 or 8 or 9, get ready for work from 10 to 3, kids get home, off-stream hours, I either help out around the farm or with the kids or whatever and make dinner, and then I edit whatever in the background, and I don't touch it. So I work 5 hours online, and then the rest of the day I'm either doing stuff around the house or editing or whatever when I've got downtime. It's a much more healthier work-life balance for me. But the trick is I always feel like when I'm not on stream that I should be in there, no matter what. If I got projects or editing, I always feel like I should be up and doing something else. So my struggle right now is take my off-stream production time, because I've already blocked it out, and not overly commit to stuff at the house with the kids. They have their time. I've got it worked out where I'm only working 8 to 10 hours a day between the stream and the off stream. There's another 16 hours or whatever, or there's another 8 hours when they're home that I've got time to do stuff with them. Right? I don't work all the time anymore. And it's a much healthier balance, but it's hard to find that balance. Like for me personally, I know for you and even for Chris, like you said, work-life balance is such a hard thing for all of us to do. And it's important that like you find it, whether or not, whatever way you can. But my week has been a complete circus. So Sunday we do the RPG, or Sunday we do the podcast to do the RPG. Everything goes, pretty well. That was the shit show. That was the sleep deprived shit show. We had the RPG that went over well, and then Monday, everything goes off without a hitch. My stream, I'm a little late on my stream because, got attacked, held against my will. Monday stream goes really well. Everything's good. Everything's great, right? Tuesday morning, girlfriend can't sleep, so I get up and take the boy to school because I normally take the girl to school because they go to school an hour and a half apart. So she gets up, she takes the boy to school, she comes in the workshop, gets started on her work. She gets an hour or two where I'm not in here being an idiot, right? But she couldn't sleep, so I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll take the boy to school. I get in the car, don't take the dog with me, drop the boy off, no problem, right? Come all the way home, get to where I'm turn my turn signal on, go to turn into my driveway, and wham! Rear-ended so hard, I get knocked into the next driveway. My shit gets slammed, break my seat, my middle console explodes, no windows broke, no airbags deploy. My whole ass end just gets rammed, right? Just like an elephant with no lube, I'm saying, right? Just obliterates my back end, slams me into the seat, right? I get out, stumble around, look behind me. It's this SUV. It's the whole front end is smashed in. Both of their airbags are deployed. So not me being me was like, oh shit, they might be hurt. I might be hurt, but instantly it kicks in. Run down to her car. Hey, are you okay? I saw your airbags don't move, whatever. she gives me the okay sign. She's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I don't fucking know. I'm more worried about you." Right? In and out. I check on this chick and she's like, "I'm so sorry. My brakes failed." I was like, "That's fine. You know, it happens. I'm glad you hit me instead of going into oncoming traffic because that could have been, you know, real bad." Right? State trooper shows up and he goes, "Hey, I don't want to be a dick, but I got to do this fast because I got grand jury and there's only 2 of us on duty. And I got to be in the Capitol in like 20 minutes and it's 40 minutes away." I'm like, "All right, insurance." The chick doesn't run away. She gets all her insurance. We swap details. Bernadette comes down. She like starts investigating shit because, you know, Bernadette, CSI, like, "What happened? How are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fine." She's like, "You look yellow." I'm like, I'm fine, whatever. "You're going to the hospital." Fuck! I don't want to go to the hospital. "Well, you're going anyway, just to be sure." Go and sit 3 hours in the urgent care to get diagnosed with aches and pains and mild to moderate whiplash. Okay, whatever. Doing fine. Get in the car. Bernadette starts driving. The world does this. Blah. Vertigo kicks in. I'm like, fuck me running. Right? So, next couple days, I'm not allowed to do shit. Cancel my Wednesday stream. Just rest up. Feeling okay. Thursday hits. I stream Little Hope with Dread. That goes off phenomenally. Work out throughout the day. I'm feeling fine. Insurance calls me, hey, Dox, we got a bunch of stuff you got to do. Fill out paperwork. We'll take care of you. Here's the kicker, though. I've dealt with insurance back in Wisconsin where it was like, "We don't want nothing to do with you. Here's a check. Move the fuck along." Right? Here in Oregon, I got a personal phone call from a case manager who was like, "What happened?" Da-da-da-da-da. Tell her what happened. She goes, "Okay, we'll cover your hospital bills. We'll take care of your car. And we'll figure out how much it's worth based on her coverage because she's at fault 100%. I was like, "Okay, well, she said her brakes failed. It's mechanical. How's she at fault?" The woman literally goes, No. It's her responsibility to make sure her vehicle is roadworthy and well maintained. And she needs to be driving a proper speed and keep her eyes on the road." And I said, whoa, slow your roll. The girl said that she was driving and doing her job, but her brakes went out. She goes, "Doesn't matter. This is how it is. This is how we treat it." And I was like, I'm not, that's a little rough. She goes, "Don't worry about it. She's covered. We got you. You're both with Progressive. We'll take care of everything." I was like, all right, that was a little aggressive, but whatever. Friday rolls around, get a phone call. Same chick, Progressive. "Hey, Rick," or "Hey, Dox, how you feeling?" "You know, my neck's a little fucked up. Vertigo kind of subsided. I'm still sore. Don't worry about it. Hey, we got some updates. We're going to give you an open medical agreement for the next 2 years. So if anything related to the crash pops up, vertigo, pain in your neck, whatever, covered 100%. Go to the doctor, get your shit checked out." I was like, huh? Say, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, it's on us. We got you." And I was like, this don't seem right. She goes, no, you're with Progressive 10 years. The woman's been with Progressive. You've got personal injury protection. This is how we roll. I was like, okay, I can get with that. And then she goes, "Oh, by the way, we got you a rental car on us." I was like, "Say what?" She's like, "Yeah, go pick up your rental. Do what you got to do until the appraisal on your vehicle is done. We're paying for everything." Get to the rental car agency, get a different story. Get to the rental agency, get the SUV. Nice car, real nice car. 2021 Nissan Rogue, all the tech, spoiling me rotten, spoiling the girlfriend rotten, right? We go to check it out, and the girl's like, "Oh, you got to pay for the insurance waiver out of pocket." I was like, all right, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Pay the $120 out of pocket, whatever it is, for the week, because we don't know how long we're going to have it. So we pay up for the week. Progressive calls me later that night and says, "Hey, did you get the rental?" "Yeah, we got the rental." There's a catch. We had to pay for the insurance waiver out of pocket. Before I could even finish the sentence, Progressive chick goes, "What was that? Out of pocket?" I was like, "Yeah, the woman at the rental agency said we got to pay it out of pocket." She goes, "Oh, no. You didn't have full coverage on your van. We got this. Send me the rental agreement. I'll update your reservation so the insurance is on us. I said, okay. She goes, I'll email you a bunch of links. You send that shit back. Saturday morning rolls around. I get up to go to the coast. Bernadette, drama happens at the house. We get it sorted, right? We go to the coast. I get a couple notifications on my phone. Bing, 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 bing. Progressive, like 5 emails. I'm like, okay. It's literally my Progressive caseworker goes, send me the rental agreement and I'll reimburse you what you paid for the insurance immediately. Send me this release and we'll move forward on getting all your medical shit sorted. Okay? It's like, all right, cool. I send it all back. We're on the boardwalk. We stop at our store. I have a few minutes to get everything sent to her. Within 3 minutes of sending her all the information, I get a link. Hey, put your bank information in there, and we'll get everything started to get you paid. All right, well, I'm not going to do it while we're in the store. When we're on the road, that's fine. Put my bank information while we're on the road, hit the go button. 45 seconds later, I get a notification. 45 seconds later, notification from my bank. Hey, there's a direct deposit. Excuse you? Get another email from Amanda. Hey, I took care of that problem. Don't worry about it. Sorry you had to pay out of pocket. We got you. Huh? Say what? That's not how this is supposed to work. I mean, this is how it's supposed to work, but I don't know that. I've never had that. So, like, I went from being like, I got $20 to pay the rest of my bills till I get to the bank on Monday to being like, we're good. And then on top of that, as we're on the boardwalk, right? It's raining cats and dogs because it's Oregon. No problem with that. But I didn't realize as we're walking, I started doing this. Vertigo kicked in, didn't realize it, right? I'm kind of like, ooh, Bernadette's like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. And then I do one of these. Like, nah, vertigo's back. Because I haven't been moving a lot. I haven't been doing a lot since the accident. Yeah. Vertigo's back. Insurance is taking care of it. Got a phone call. Insurance is going to cut me a check probably Wednesday once they get the appraisal done. So, like, I've never dealt with insurance like this before. And it's kind of nice. Is that like, I don't know how to feel about this. I feel weird. That's been my week in a nutshell.
Eventful.
Yeah. My poor car. Huh?
For the good though.
Yeah, like what the, like is that how insurance is supposed to work? Because like
yes.
I've been insurance
exactly how it's supposed to fucking work.
I've been insurance my entire driving life. And I've had cars get totaled out because one of the cars I had, that SUV rolled over the hood and smashed it to bits, and they totaled it out. And they cut me a check for like $900. I was like, how the hell am I supposed to get a replacement car? And they were like, hey, whatever, it is what it is. Out here in Oregon, they're like, just have all of the money. Like, we got you. And I don't have better insurance than I did back home. Like, my liability, my uninsured driver, all that's, the same. I didn't have personal injury in Wisconsin. I have it here. But, like, they're like, oh, don't worry about it. Whatever you need, we got you. How is Wisconsin so different than Oregon? I don't understand this.
I mean, you'll probably find that it's different. It's just in Oregon, people do their job.
Yeah, probably.
Because, like, here, like, I had that accident a couple of weeks ago when the woman, like, came out and hit me at the back. And within 24 hours, her insurance had called me and was like, look, she's said that she was at fault. This is what happened to her. Because originally, we were just going to go off book. I would send her what the garage said it was going to cost. She would pay to get it fixed. That would it. Don't have to worry about insurance. But then she ended up contacting her insurance anyway and saying, I've hit somebody, they've gave the details and they phoned me. Now, when I was looking, my neighbour 2 doors down's a mechanic, so I'd straight away got him across that, going to make sure that there's no damage, that I can still drive the car because I was still working and stuff, so I need to make sure that there's no actual damage. And even he was asked that, to be honest, there's probably about £150-200 worth of damage because it was like facial damage. It was like, yeah, maybe have to get this bit re-plastered, get this bit smoothed out and dent out it. That would have been it. And when the insurance phoned me, I could have either taken a payment of, they quoted the job at £900. Now, my mechanic said that it was about £150, £200 worth of work. So I could have taken a £900 check, got somebody else to do the work, and that would have made it, because I could still drive the car. I didn't need a rent on it. I was like, do you know what? No, I want to get it all done right. You sort it out and thing it. And that was it. So they took the car away, delivered a rental car, and picked up my car. So I didn't even have to go anywhere. They just came and took it. I used my car, the rental car, the car, use it for work. But it was funny because trying to explain to them, because it was well, you need a rental car. And I was like, I'll need a rental car, but I need to use it for work because my car insurance is for, like, I hear you can take out like your fully contractor car insurance or your third party, but you also, within that, you have social, domestic, and pleasure. And then you can have, like, if you need to drive to work and stuff like that, you need to have that as an actual extra that can cost a wee bit more money. So the way it works for us is, because I have that insurance, I need a car that I can take to work. And a car, oh no, that's fine. You can use your car to get yourself to and from work. I was what's your daily average to work? And I was at about 750 miles. And it was the kind of 30-second pause, silence. It was where is it you work? And I was like, I'm a delivery driver. I drive from here to London. Like, it's 700, or it's closer to 900 all round trip.
Right.
I was like, and you do that daily? I was like, about 3-4 days a week, The other days I only drive to Barnsley, which is about 450-mile round trip. And it was, I don't know if our insurance would be able to. I was like, well, your insurance better fucking cover it, because that's what I need my car for. But they ended up covering it, and it was lucky that week I didn't have any London jobs. I was out in Edinburgh and I was doing it Barnsley and stuff like that. It wasn't really anything special. But it was like that all came back. The car was they even valeted my car.
Wow.
So because so they fixed the back, cleaned all the inside, cleaned the outside. Everything was perfectly. Didn't cost me a penny. They dropped my car back off. They even pumped up my tyre. Fucking couldn't have asked for more. Like, that's how you're supposed to be treated when you're covered.
See, I don't know that. Bill, have you had insurance, like an insurance story? Like, have you had to deal with insurance? Because this is the first time I've been taken care of.
No, yeah, I've not had nothing like being claimed through the insurance. No, I used to drive, ride, sorry, a motorbike, but I didn't have no problems where I had to go through the insurance or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, right. To me, this has gone like really like. I didn't expect this, and like me being the pessimistic optimist, part of my brain's like, when's the shoe gonna drop? And then the other part of my brain's like, shit, they're taking care of you. Don't jinx it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Yeah. But before we jump into the big topic, I want to get to know Bill a little more, because I know Bill from UKZ Monster, and I don't know where I'm assuming that's how you met him too, Chris?
Yes.
Yes, I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, because I found Monster through Silver Studios, and then Monster had me do voice work for Marvin. And then I would hang out in Monster Stream when I had the time. And then Bill was always popping up. And then Bill and I got to chit-chatting. And Bill and I are eventually going to hook up and do a project together, eventually. But I want to get to know Bill a little more. I know the stream wants to get to know Bill a little more. So we're going to ask you a few questions. You down for that, Billy? Yeah, and we'll chime in, too. So, typical question we ask anybody who's a streamer.
What was your age when you got laid?
14. 14. Just saying.
That's the questions we want to know. When do you lose your virginity?
No, you've been asked, man. What's up? All right. Let's ask the bog standard. What got you started? What got you started in the stream game, brother?
Well, to be honest, it was mostly to meet like new people, because literally every day, anytime I was gaming, it was just me and UK's Monster. Like, we'd be playing whatever it was, from Mortal Kombat to other shooters to Fortnite, whatever it was literally just me and Monster gaming. So We wanted to, how could I put it, spread the horizon, do you know what I mean? Try and find more people to game with and meet new people, just start interacting with a lot more players, because obviously we was always just in a party chat. We'd never speak in game chat, so it was literally just me and Monster for years, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? There'd be the odd time we'd be in game chat, we'd meet the odd person, but then it'd be a week to chat to him and then they don't game no more, do you know what I mean? So it'd just stick back to the base of me and Monster. But yeah, like I've met some amazing people on the way, those like really have. So, but yeah, started streaming, like I said, it was just mainly great comfort zone as well. Do you know what I mean? Being in front of the camera to, do you know what I mean? To whoever's watching, really, even if nobody's watching, just having that camera on and knowing it's there, it's like, it's a bit nerve wracking, even still now after what, a year and a half of streaming, it still does get nervous sometimes, you know what I mean? Just knowing that the camera's on and you're live, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
But yeah, literally just mainly meet new people, find new people to game with, just have a good time, really, mate.
Yeah.
Do you ever get that feeling like I've done it a couple of times where like you've been streaming and all that kind of stuff. Do you ever get that feeling that see when you're gaming just off stream and all that, and you'll be doing something while you're gaming and go fuck the camera, like you'll like be trying to clean your nose or something like that, and you go fuck, I've just done that on stream, and then it is there till you realise, oh fuck, I'm not streaming. So I get that so many times. Like you'll stone up
Like-
and then go, fuck, I'm not wearing trousers. We're all right, it's fine.
Yeah, like I do it on stream as well, like especially when I'm playing Apex, when I'm mid-fight shooting or whatever, I'll pull funny faces and tongue comes out and something, do you know what I mean? And then I do it off stream and I thought, oh shit, put my tongue back in, stop doing the face, just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's you mentioned a great point, is getting comfortable in front of the camera. Chris, you're the newest one to the stream game out of all of us. Was getting used to the camera one of the bigger issues for you?
No, not really. Like it was weird because like I've never been somebody that wanted to be centre of attention or like I like to just be the guy in the background that can just sit and do the work and somebody else can take all the fucking, I don't care. As long as the work's getting done, that's it. But to be honest, it wasn't the camera that was the biggest issue. My biggest issue is, will people be able to understand me? Like that was what was more nerve-wracking to me, was just, what if people don't actually understand me at all? And it's just like because like it sounds stupid because like it's such a small fucking niche thing to be nervous about, considering I'm like so many people. It's like, oh, what if I'm terrible at the game? What if I look stupid on a camera? What if that? But to like most Scottish people, it's like we literally speak a language that 70% of the world speaks, but we still can't speak it right. Like our actual main language is something that we can't speak,
right?
And that was what was more worrying about me, is what if I'm talking too fast? What if, because like obviously the Glaswegian accent is, because I travelled for work when I was doing like the bike racing and stuff like that, and we travelled through Europe. I learned to adapt a kind of a slower talking speed, because we were talking to like French and Italians and Germans and Dutch and all that. Like I lived in Holland for a year, so it was like I learned to kind of change my accent enough that people, it was more noticeable to be able to understand. But I've noticed that there's times where, like, if I'm playing games, like even like especially horror games, the Glaswegian accent is like a low, fast, droning like language or accent. It's like my pal for Holland used to always say that if me and my brothers and that were in a room together and we were talking, she would have a really hard time keeping up the conversation, because we would be talking so fast and so low, and it would just be difficult. And I was always worried that I'd be talking like that and people wouldn't actually understand what the fuck I'm saying.
Well, I get like that with my missus. Her dad's side is Scottish, so when all them are in a room together and they're speaking, I'm like, wait, Slow down, slow down. Come on, give me a second here. Then, like,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what they said like 4 sentences ago. Do you know what I mean? And they're on a completely different subject now. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah. That was more my main worry was just what if nobody can understand me and I want to host a podcast.
I think what I'll say, like me actually being that person, is it's just the speed of it. It's like
Yeah.
when you get proper talking to each other, like obviously I've witnessed it with my fiance's family, like they go very fast, and then when it gets to that point, my brain fries. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, for me, it's just the speed. Like once they start proper going, it's like, hold up,
Yeah.
like let's. Do you know what I mean? But when they're just talking normal, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I could totally see that on your end, Chris, because when you and I started hanging out, I didn't have a problem understanding you, and when you had mentioned that you're from, like, obviously you're from Glasgow, you're like, oh, my accent's bad. I was like, not really. It's not thick. I don't have a problem with it or understanding you. No, I'm good. I didn't think if you were like slowing yourself down, but like over the year, you like I've never had a problem understanding what you're getting at. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, well, I've definitely like from before I started streaming with like you and that. Obviously, I would game like with Titan and would play like, League and stuff like that. So just with my background and like doing the bikes and that, I've been able to like I slowed myself properly down. What I have noticed that when I'm playing certain like see when I was playing that Poppy Playhouse, I've clipped a few times where I went proper Glaswegian.
Yeah, you have.
Where like it was just in that fear. And there's other times like see back in June when I was doing the birthday stream and I was playing Call of Duty with my mate. There's a lot through that where me and him are talking and it does sound really, really quick. And I've noticed there's just a couple of times like when I'm not thinking about it. I have a lot more of the Glaswegian sort of drone. But obviously, it's just through practice and just keeping it going. But that was mere. It was always just, what if nobody can understand me and they're looking at me like this guy is shite at games. He looks stupid and we can't understand him. Like that's the trifactor of fucked as a streamer.
Yeah, the trick for me with streaming, I don't know. I don't know what because the camera. I'm not one of those guys that wanted to be the center of attention either. I don't like being on camera. I don't like photos being taken of me a lot. But for me, streaming is different because I've worked as a bartender, I've worked as a nanny, I've worked as a martial arts instructor, I've been a stunt instructor, I've been a bodyguard. Like, for me, when the camera goes on, it's time to go to work. So the gears shift. So like my voice comes up, my inflection changes, my energy changes, because working as a bartender, you got to be moving. You constantly, hey, what do you need? What do you need? Because you got to make those tips. And I've said it over and over again that to me, streaming is like being a digital bartender. What I'm doing for the stream is the drinks that I'm serving.
Yeah.
So as I'm greeting chat, as like when Haba comes in or Dread comes in or you come in, I know your name, I know your backstory if you talk to me about it, I know what your favorite games are, and I know, general tidbits about you, because then that allows me to then form a connection with you beyond what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
That's the bartender logic. And then a lot of times people are like, oh, well, then we're not getting a real Dox. You are. You're just getting a kicked up version of me. Like, everybody knows who's been in my streams before that I have a different voice. My normal voice is not this. My normal voice is this low register, deep, gravelly sort of like voice. That's not what you get on stream. You get this You get an upper tone, you get an energy inflection, you get a, hey, motherfucker, let's go. You get this sort of like, I'm going to call you on your bullshit. I move a lot. I gesticulate a lot. So the camera wasn't an issue for me. My biggest fear when I started streaming was, who the fuck's going to turn up and watch a 39-year-old streamer who's gray-haired and like horrible at video games? Like my concern was the gameplay and the content. Who's going to turn up for the content? Not the production, not being on camera, not the personality, but the content. Who the fuck's going to tune in when you got all these other streamers who are younger, better, faster at the game? Or, that was my issue. And it's interesting that all of us have a different thing. And Dredd, you're right. There is a problem with the approach that parasocial relationships can form, where viewers think they know you and they're your friend, so that they then rely on you as a friend when really you're just the voice in the room. You're the bartender in the room. You're the friend when you're at the bar. And sometimes
that happens with everybody. Like, there's a lot of streamers that don't even portray as being friends, and they still end up in these parasocial relationships because there's a lot of people that just don't have the social intelligence to be able to know the difference. So I think there's a lot of times where it doesn't actually matter, because there's a lot of different things that can go to that end result, and not just you being a friend.
Right, but
if you're there, people just gravitate that there's something that you're their best friend now.
But I don't portray I don't say I'm your friend. Like, I've always been upfront that I'm literally the digital bartender. Just because I know your name and I know your history and I'm friendly and I remember you and I remember your drink doesn't mean we're friends. Like, I've never said, hey, we're friends, we're boys like that. I've always said, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I know your name. I'm glad you're willing to share with me. I've been always upfront with, don't get it twisted. I'm here providing a service, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to take the time to get to know you. And I think a lot of times that attitude gets conflated with, well, he doesn't care about me, or he's my friend. It's either way. Either some people are like, oh, he doesn't care about me, but he wants to get to know me so that I can subscribe and all that. No. I get to know you because it makes for a more interesting dynamic in chat. Yeah. But if you see me out, I'm gonna give you a fist bump and say, hey, blah blah blah. I'll be cordial and civil and friendly, but you're not coming to my house for dinner. Like, I'm not. Like, you will, or Dredd might, or Bill might, or Monster, because we have an advanced relationship. But like the average viewer who comes in regularly, he's not coming to my kid's birthday. Like that, we don't got that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and like Dredd said, it's going to increase the chances of it. Granted, but it's the only way I know how to be genuine. Like if you came in and I'm like, oh, Haba, that's great to see you, and I don't take the time to get to know you. I don't take the time to invest in you. Why the fuck are you coming back?
Well, it's true.
What do you think, Bill? Well, to laugh. Yeah, I know this is a train wreck, but what are your thoughts on that, Bill? Like, what do you think about that angle?
I don't know. Like, it depends really, because sometimes with me, like me personally, when I'm on stream, like especially while I'm playing Apex, I can get that annoyed sometimes. I have done it, like, and I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Then I realised once I've said it, and then I've just come back to the screen. It's like, wait, it clicks very quick. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, yes, what's going on? How you doing? Do you know what I mean? I appreciate you coming through. How's your day going? But then it's just for that first split second. It's like, oh, how you doing? Welcome in. And then it clicks very fast, and it's like, oh shit, what the fuck am I doing? Do you know what I mean? It's like, so trying to keep on that ball, really, like for me especially, because I get very stressed at Apex. I'll admit that.
I've seen it. We've all seen it.
Do you know what I mean? So dealing with randoms is fucking stressful. So, but no, yeah, like when it comes to splitting the game when I'm speaking to chat, I do try and obviously break that stress level. Do you know what I mean? To try and bring the energy back to chat again. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to bring the stress from the game, even though it's still part of the stream. I don't want to bring it into the part where I'm talking to chat. I want to try and keep that energy level different. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, fair enough. Like when I'm in game, I'm screaming, shouting, effing and jeffing, whatever it may be. Do you know what I mean? But that's just how it is. But yeah, like when it comes to the chat side of it, yeah, definitely, I do want to be more engaged, and that is something I'm actually working on myself at the moment as well. Is trying to be more engaging and try and keep the conversation going, basically, because that is something I do struggle with. Keeping, because that's what I was saying with to Chris as well all week. It's like, yeah, when it comes to Sunday, gonna need a little bit of help because yeah, it's me trying to keep things going. You know what I mean? I just start mumbling my words and forgetting things, and then there'll be a pause where I'm saying them. It's like, oh yeah, what was I saying? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I think that's normal though, because like let's face it, streaming is a form of live entertainment, and if you a lot of streamers don't have training that like entertainers have, like stand-up comics or actors, or we all turn on a camera and just fucking go. There's no streaming school where they're like, and this is how you interact with chat, this is how you interact with the content. There's no tutorial on how to like you said, keep the energy in game and then switch immediately to the energy in chat to then bridge the two so that it's a seamless thing. There's no manual on how to do that. And if there is, it's not going to work for all of us. Like, we're all different persons. Like, Chris is a Scottish idiot. Billbob is and he's a first-person shooter fuckboy. And I'm just a moron. Like, let's say it. Like, all of our approaches are different. Like, none of us are going to have the same personality, skill set, diction, affectation. We're not going to have the same production, all that stuff. So streaming, whether it's just chatting or video games or podcasts or voiceover or whatever you do, you kind of got to feel out you and your community. Your community has to like feel itself out. And one of the things that Chris and I talk about all the time, and what we'll go on, is through our network, our family, our community that we got, Chris's channel, my channel, your channel, Monster, Ready Play Go, all of these channels, Haba. We want to form a sense of community to where, like, and I think last week I made this analogy and I'll make it again. When you're done at Dox's bar, you're going to roll on to Haba's bar and have that same sort of communal, like, hey, how you doing kind of feel, but it'll be different because it's Haba. Or if you move from Haba to Billy, you're going to have a different experience, but you're still going to have that, like, welcoming, open, engaged sort of, like, feeling, but it's going to be different. It's like going to pool league. You don't shoot on your home turf every day. You got to adapt to the situation, and everybody's bar or channel in this analogy is different, and I think that's great, because I don't want to go to Chris's channel and see me, right? I don't want to see me being imitated. I don't want to go to Bill's channel and see Monster imitated. I don't want to go to Ready Play Go and see Critical Role imitated. I want to see Ready Play Go. I want to see Chrissy. I want to see Bill. I want to see Monster. But I want to have that sense of I'm welcome. And however the streamer provides that, I think, is the key to success, whether it be by being me or you or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think it's one of the ones, like, the way I would word it, which is pretty similar to you, is every stream is going to be different. Like, the energy and the vibe that you're going to feel in every stream is going to be different. Like you straight away, you can go to Haba playing like Uncharted last night, right? Or when,
I'm sorry, I missed that. I was looking forward to that, but we didn't get back till late. Yeah.
Well, even at that, like, you look back to, like, on a Sunday when she was playing Last of Us 2, right? We would be I'd be enjoying the game because I'd never played through the game, so I was enjoying the story. But the topics and conversations that we would have in chat it was that kind of way. It was topics in that you could see happening in other chats, but it was less that it was more just the fact that, like you said, you want to be able to send your viewers to another stream, and then they could, because you just move on, and it's like having a good night out, like bar hopping. I think what the difference is when you create a community that every streamer is proud of having. It doesn't matter what stream they go into. It's still, they're going to be respectful. They're going to be kind. They're not going to be cunts. They're going to enjoy the content. They're going to converse. No be rude. That's what you want. You want a community that can go into 5, 6, 7 different streams and act accordingly. Because you don't want like. You could find it like you go into my stream, and 9 times out of 10, I've got a horror game going, right? And it's about using like the sound alerts and just having time. It's less about having these big conversations in chat. It's more just about ripping the arse out of me. Whereas you go into Haba's chat, and you're able to talk more about, like we were talking about in Last of Us 2, because it was like 20 years in the future, would tampons be out of date? Like that's the type of conversation. But the topic heading, you would think, well, that's just a weird conversation. But we were going into a kind of like, it was more like problem solving, and we came to the conclusion that they must have came up with like a reusable system to be able to do it. So even though it sounds as if you were having this weird ass conversation about, in a video game, would tampons be expired? But it was like an actual conversation, and then talking about the actual game itself, like, oh, if you were Abby, or if you were like, what would your mindset be in that situation? Oh, I understand why Abby's been like that, but I still want her deed and whatnot like that. So like you were able to have actual. It felt as if you were having stupid conversations, but having intellectual stupid conversations.
You were having dumbass smart conversations. I get it.
Yeah. And then like you go into like Zim's chat, and you can just sit in Zim's chat, and Zim, he's a lot more thingied on talking about the game at hand, and talking about like RPG games and that, and giving advice on, oh, I like to do this, I like to think like that. And that's the type of conversations you have more in Zim's chat. And then you go into like Billbob's chat, and Billbob's chat's more about, because it's like Apex and the FPS and stuff like that, you can have a certain conversation, but it's more about just watching the gameplay. Again, the way like Amber with the horror games, you're more focused on the gameplay as opposed to sitting chatting. But then at the same time, when Billbob's playing like the Spider-Man games and that, the chat is a lot more like actual having conversations, talking about like Marvel and Pokemon and all that. So you can, even just in the change up a game, you can see the difference even in the same stream where the chat can be. And I think that's more the community that I'd like to be a part of, is that you can jump about different streams, be respectful, be kind, show support, and be the community that we're not seeing in society now. Like that's what we want.
Well, just 100%. To add to that quickly, like you said, like it depends on what game you're playing. It really does, because depending what you are, like you said, going to the Spider-Man, that can spark a conversation going into Marvel, DC, all the recent films, going into comic books for the past 50 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going through all like the different movies, what's happened, and there's so many different things where going about Apex, where you're going to talk like, oh yeah, what do you think of the new season? Yeah, it's great. It's all right. Do you know what I mean? A few things could like be changed, whatever. What do you think of the new map? It's really good. It's huge. Yeah. What do you think of the new legend? Abilities are okay. Do you know what I mean? Ult could probably do with like a bit of a buff, but other than that, yeah, overall, 9 out of 10. There you go. There's conversation of Apex done.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you know what I mean? Where with Spider-Man, even just like Spider-Man itself, just going speaking about all of his villains, and there's just so much you can get into with just each character. Never mind, like there being 7, 8 of them. Do you know what I mean? So,
and I think that is one of the things that is stopping a lot of like new streamers, especially, being able to grow as much as they want is that a lot of them will play games like Warzone and Apex and the FPS shooters that don't engage a lot of conversation with chat, but they feel because they're not getting chat gone that they must be doing something wrong. And it's like, well, it's not that you're doing something wrong. It's just that the type of content that you're putting out at this moment doesn't pull a conversation into it. Because like you said, the Apex conversation, you could literally just have that conversation with 10 different people and it'd be the same outcome. Whereas if you're playing certain games and stuff that can spark conversation, be it like, as I said, there's been conversations that I've had, and I mean, like you look at when I done the charity stream the other week there, or it was the Friday before. I was playing Oakwood, which is a dinosaur horror game.
Yeah, that was great.
Which was awesome and all that. But midway through it, Haba had sent me a video, and I ended up making jorts mid-stream. So it was like we're playing a horror game. That it was a good horror game, but it wasn't really as gripping. So it was making chat kind of go a different way than what you would have thought it would go. And I think that is where the problem is that, yeah, exactly, Dread. It's one of the ones with the more popular games like Apex and Warzone and stuff like that. It's the type of people that want to watch them are the ones that have it on in the side while they're also playing the game. That's how that usually goes. Whereas if you're playing like Last of Us or Red Dead Redemption, or you're playing horror games, or you're doing just chatting in that, people aren't putting you on another screen while doing something else a lot of the time. Just chatting maybe, but people that are coming in are going to be wanting to watch that stream because they're wanting to watch the story mode of the game. They're wanting to see how certain games are played. You can literally go into and I don't want to shit on like FPS streamers and stuff like that.
Oh, I'm just teasing, Bill.
You can literally go into see if you go into the top 10 streams of Apex, it's all the same stream. They might be playing different, they might be better than the other one, but it's all the same stream. So you could literally go into all 7,000 streamers that are in Apex right now, and it would be the same. You wouldn't be able to place in any of them. Whereas if you were to go into and that's why it is important that if you want to grow as a streamer on Twitch, you have to play the games that's going to bring you in the views. Like if you're playing a game that only has 10 viewers on Twitch, you're not going to get views because that's just how it is. But at the same time, you don't want to get lost in the 7,000 streams that are playing that popular game. Because if you look, there's maybe 10 that have 1,000 plus viewers, and then the other 5,000 have got 3 people in their chat. You're not going to get found because everybody's in that same one wee bit. So it is trying to find that balance where you want to grow your community by playing the kind of popular games, but at the same time, you want to be unique and playing games that are different from every other stream. It's like a fine line, and it is the reason why only 1% of Twitch make money.
Right. Well,
it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, well, that brings up a big point. We've talked about the differences. Let's kind of jump into the big topic that we wanted to get Bill on, because I think that's a great segue. Bill, we mentioned in the opening that you stream, but you're primarily a console streamer, correct?
Yep, I stream from the PlayStation 5.
So, I'm curious, as we've talked about the differences in the styles of streaming and in the game categories of streaming and the different audiences. Have you noticed a different sort of production quality, audience participation from a console streaming perspective than, say, a PC streamer? Because I've seen a couple tweets from other streamers who are console streamers, and they're like, why do console streamers get so much hate? Why don't we get as much interaction or whatever? What's your experience as a primary console streamer?
I feel just to get like the quality side out of it, I really do feel the quality could be much better.
Why?
Like
How?
with my camera, for say, like I can only use the official Sony camera for the camera, and on my stream it's meant to record at 1080p, so it's meant to be crystal clear, but then it's all fuzzy and pixelated and stuff like that, and I don't know why. I've looked up and it should be fine. Where there's a clip that I had from when I first got the PlayStation. Well, when I first got the cam, sorry, and it was clear. Like the camera was clear. So I don't know. It's like over time, the quality of the camera itself going to the stream has just dropped like tremendously, and I don't know what it is. I don't know how to fix it. Don't know what's gone wrong. I don't know if it's the camera itself. But then even like streaming while I am live, I have the cam up on my screen while I'm playing, so it obstructs a certain part of the screen. Do you know what I mean? So like when I'm playing Apex, because that's mostly what I play, it blocks like how many teams are left, how many players, what damage I'm on, how many kills, stuff like that. So, and then depending what game I play, if I was to play a different game, there might be something in my top right corner where I do usually have my cam. There might be something there what I need to see in that game, so I'd need to move my camera around. Do you know what I mean? To try and figure out a best place for it. So I think straight away, I think that they could do is remove it where I'm seeing it on my screen. Like I shouldn't have to see my cam while I'm playing. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that's on the Sony side, or is that like something that maybe like an app developer could do to like improve like console streaming?
I think that'd be Sony's side.
Okay.
Because
the proprietary software or the proprietary camera.
Yeah. Because like I have my camera obviously connected straight up to the PlayStation, and when I go into my settings, obviously you can change like how big you want it, if you wanted a certain like crop out some of the image and stuff like that. And you could have it like a green screen too if you wanted to, but the fact that it's still on the screen while I'm live is a bit weird.
Right. Okay, that's a good example, because for me, I'm primarily a PC streamer, so I run 2 monitor setup. I don't have to worry about my camera being on what I see. The chat sees it, but I don't have to see it unless I look at my if I look at my other monitor where I have all my stream health. And I have done console streaming, and I noticed the one thing is I really enjoy having the information, the production information of my stream accessible at all times. Is that something that, from a console standpoint, you feel that might benefit console streamers, having some way to like be able to like see your drop frames, see your bitrate, see your chat scroll, see your event log, see your mixer mic, all that? Like, is that something
that would be good, definitely. Like, because literally while I'm live, the only thing literally you do have, unless you can have it as the overlay, but I have it turned off, is the chat. But then say you do have quite a few people in and the chat is going, it literally takes up half of the screen going up right up the left-hand side. And I see it on my screen too, so like the same situation with the cam. So it blocks everything out what I'm trying to do in game. Do you know what I mean? It's terrible.
That could be rough.
So obviously I have that turned off. But then even just something like I've been saying to Chris for a while now, but even something as having Discord on console could help a lot as well.
Yeah.
Like having Discord as an app, because you'd be able to just connect it with, like now literally I'm on Discord on my phone. That's how I've got my cam connected up and stuff like that. So if I was to have Discord on the console, I'd be able to literally use it up with me setup normal.
Right.
And I wouldn't have to have like earphones in and do you know what I mean? Doing everything on my phone.
Yeah. That makes sense. So I don't know, man. Like having an app run in the back of a console and then having to do it, that's a rough go, man. Like, do you feel you need a cam as a console streamer though?
No, not really. I just feel it better because I get like very stuck into the game. Like if you've been in the stream, you'll know. Do you know what I mean? I get very stuck in, and especially like if I'm fighting a lot, I get very stuck in. So if I don't have a cam, people could just think I'm being ignorant or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But then if they do, they can see my eyeballs are glued to the screen. I'm not moving. Face is like proper right up there. Do you know what I mean? They know I'm like concentrating and in game. So then they know like once I'm out of fight, healed up, whatever, and we're moving on. And my head turns over like to the down to the tablet, be able to read chat and interact and whatever it may be. So I do feel like the cam does help in a way for me personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, why don't you jump in?
Oh, in time with the cam, I started streaming through console.
You
and I
did,
had
yes.
no cams. And if I'm honest, I've noticed that the engagement with a cam, especially, I mean, me playing horror games, a cam was always going to be best, right?
Yeah.
But I have actually noticed, I've been in other chats, like in big streams, small streams and that, and see when people are looking to raid. I've even done it myself. 9 times out of 10, I won't raid someone if they don't have a cam.
Why not?
Because I just, like, personally, I feel a cam, like, when you raid someone, as much as you don't do it for gain or anything like that, but like a lot of big streamers, they raid smaller streamers and they only pick people with cams because they want to be able to see the streamer's reaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like having a cam definitely adds another dimension to a stream. So I do think that a cam is important, especially in this day and age. Like, people want to be able to see the gamer or the streamer actually doing what they're doing. But with the whole console thing, I think there does have to be improvements made in it, and it's like you could have like an app that runs in the background where it has like your frame rate drops and your mixer and all that kind of stuff. But where are you going to put it? You're on a console. You don't have a multi-screen setup at that point. So, like, where's this app going to go? Is it going to be on your screen? Which is the reason why the camera's on your screen, because it's the only screen you have. So it has to go somewhere. It's the same with like the chat box and all. It has to go somewhere. So where is this app going to show up on your screen to be able to see your mixer and this and that? So I think there's things that it would be nice to be able to have, but it would be impractical to use. But things like having this, now I know Sony will buy something like 10% stock in Discord late last year.
Possibly. I'd have to double check, but I think you're right on that. Yeah, they did make an investment in Discord, I believe.
Yeah, like I'm sure I can remember reading somewhere that it was either late 2021 or early 2022. They were looking to implement Discord into PlayStation so that you could use it there, and it's things like that I think would make a lot more of a difference than getting, like, because it is like Dredd said, you can go out and get a cheap capture card, plug it into your laptop. The way I had my stream set up when I got my first camera was that my stream went through the capture card and the only thing my computer ran was OBS. And it was still tanking, but everything else had to run through the PlayStation. It was the only way I could have that set up run. So unless you have a computer that can even just run OBS with the capture card and all that, it's difficult because, you can turn around and say, well, it's a $30 external capture card, that's all well and good, but you're going to have to spend $300 on a laptop that has the capabilities to run the programs.
More than that, I bought a laptop, spent £300 on it, mate, and literally I sent it back the next day. Like, literally, it could just about run Twitch on the browser. Yeah, like, literally, it got sent back the next day. To get a laptop to do that, I was just literally reading Dredd's message there, and no, you're gonna easily be spending £700 to £800 to be able to have the power within the laptop, be able to run everything what you need.
That brings up a great point because the distance between having how do I want to phrase this? The gap between having a console and having a PC to stream on is quite large, I found, because not only do you need from a perspective, you need to have a PC that can run the games at a good quality, but it also needs to be able to run streaming software to at that high quality. And it seems like the barrier for entry of that is just ever increasing. Like, you look at PC prices nowadays, and graphics card prices, let alone, are kind of ridiculous. And I know, Bill, you've been talking about trying to get a PC. Like, what's that experience been like? I know you touched on it a little bit, but like, can you go more in depth of like the barrier to entry on a PC for like a streaming setup?
Well, I'll just start with like when I've looked on the websites, do you know what I mean? Like these custom build PCs and even like pre-builds as well, just looking at the parts, like my brain just fries, mate. I haven't got a clue. So a lot of what I do know about all the PC parts is from asking other people. But yeah, just even like me and Chris have been talking about like possibly buying parts, do you know what I mean, and doing it that way, get all the parts up and then build the PC up at the end. But it's like the prices of them, like going paying £300 to £600 on each part. That's not going to be able to get done. Do you know what I mean? Especially with 3 kids, house to run, and it's hard. Do you know what I mean? Even just to like, just on one part for the PC, like I was just saying, it's £300 to £500. Say, do you know what I mean? For just a cheap part and used one, if that. Literally, I paid that for my PS5. Do you know what I mean? And I can game and stream on it.
Yeah.
Yes, I am in chat dread. I don't know why you can't at me, dude.
Yeah, I had a.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. I had an interesting thing last year where we had been streaming on a laptop for a while, and my laptop started to have problems. But before the laptop started to have problems, we had set up a dono goal and my stream goal of trying to upgrade my PC, and I had set the goal for like $1,500, right? Just get a upgrade, not like a huge upgrade, but $1,500. That's still an investment. Like, that's not just like, that's not like going down the street and picking some shit up from the Best Buy. Like, that's an investment. And I've noticed as, okay, hang on. You guys really got to bring your voices down because there's a lot of crosstalk and it's getting hard for the guests to hear. So, there's an investment where I don't know. I'm in this boat where I think streaming should be accessible for anybody, and you should be able to stream at a level of quality that's decent. But on the other hand, I'm a production nut. As Chris knows, the production meetings we've had have gone on for like hours, and I'm like, we need to hit this benchmark. We need to hit this. We got to have an artist do this. Like, literally, like, my whole thing, and I've said it 100 times, I'm not the best streamer in the world, but you're going to get top quality, the best production that I can give for what I have. And I think that should be something that everybody should attain. You should be able to present a certain level of quality, whether it's console or PC. And because streaming has become a social phenomenon, I think there should be tools at every level of the stream game, from like low end, and I this is gonna sound off, and I don't know how to say it other than this.
So just piss off everybody.
The low end sort of console stream, because like we discussed, consoles don't have all the assets that PC streams do. So on the lower end of streaming, you have like the console streamers, and then on the upper end, you've got like the boutique PC streamers. There should be toolkits to provide you the best production at every level of the game, regardless of what level you're at.
Yeah.
Because streaming has become such a global phenomenon, especially during the pandemic, that you would think companies like Sony and Xbox and Discord and Elgato would have toolkits so that the production level of those streams can be the best what they can. Because let's face it, as a streamer, you've already got so much stacked against you. You've got you're a small fish in a huge pond. You've got, like, for me particularly, I don't stream Apex or shit like that. So I'm already putting myself on the lower end of discoverability, right?
Yeah.
There should be toolkits and production assets available regardless of your level. And as you progress and be able to upgrade, you should have more and more of those toolkits available. Do you understand kind of what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah. I think what you also have to put into play, but like Dredd said, Elgato is starting to come out with a lot more stuff like that. But what you have to remember is streaming, as much as streaming was big and a lot of people watched Twitch and YouTube and all that kind of stuff, it was only up until it was COVID that caused a lot of people to get more into streaming because they couldn't go out. So a lot of people turned to streaming and giving it a go and stuff like that. So I think you also have to think that streaming only took a massive boom in the last 18 months. That in
2 years, 18 months, yeah.
Like in technology terms, that is not a great deal of time for like Sony and Xbox and Microsoft and this and that to be able to develop these things as quick as you can, especially considering that you have to put into play, everybody started doing it because they were at home more often, but at the same time, the people that started streaming were the people that were working for Sony and Xbox and Microsoft, so they aren't at work to develop these things because they're at home self-isolating because of COVID. So it's like a lot of things have happened in the last couple of years that it's one of the first times where supply hasn't hit where the demand has been. Like, yeah, exactly. So, but the first TwitchCon was, I think there has been a boom, but I'm sure I read somewhere where it was something like it was like 20 or 25% increase in the last 2 years on Twitch
100%.
than there had been before, which is a lot. If you consider 6,000 is 100%, an extra 2,000 or 1,500 people getting lumped onto Twitch, that's a lot. So it was like, it will be developed, and I think it is like patience has to be in a place, but at the same time you also have to look at it and you think, well, how long Twitch has been going since 2010? I know it used to be Justin TV, and then they brought them out and it became Twitch and all that. So you're talking like there's at least 10 years where streaming was an upcoming sort of thing, and you think the advancement of like esports and stuff like that, you would think that it would have been developed a wee bit before we hit the kind of the COVID side of thing. And I do think there is a lot that could be done to help console, and I don't think console really is as low as you'd think, because there is some streamers on Twitch that are sitting there with 900 views, and they stream from a PlayStation or an Xbox with the PlayStation cam. They don't have a computer and they still stream. And I think, but again, you need to get into the mentality of this 1%. Like, how many people start as a console streamer? Like, and you think getting a computer can make a difference. The first computer I bought was £800. That's what I spent in that first computer, and it still couldn't run shit. Like, it could run. I had to set up my Elgato capture card, but I couldn't run the Elgato capture card through my PC. I had to load up the thing, load it into OBS, and then shut down Elgato and hope that OBS would still capture it in a scuffed way. and then switch to HDMI channel and play my PlayStation through the HDMI with OBS running on the PC on a different thing. So it was like I had to have this really scuffed streaming setup in order to stream on an £800 computer.
Right.
And I know it's one of the ones that you can buy a computer at £800 and be ripped off, or it maybe be really, really good for something, but it doesn't have a good GPU, or it doesn't have this. But it's still one of the ones, spending £800, the computer should be able to do any of the simple tasks. It should be able to run games. It should be able to run OBS. I'm not saying that I should be able to run Warzone in ultra high quality through my PC.
Right.
But I should be able to run the basics, which I couldn't do. And if an £800 computer won't allow me to do the basics of streaming, how the fuck is it an accessible thing to everybody? Like, that's what it is. It's like it's supposed to be everybody should be able to access these kind of things, but it's getting more and more exclusive.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
the setup that I've got, like I know, Dox, you had your laptop and it just went to fuck.
Yeah,
and
it just went downhill fast.
Like everybody kind of chipped in parts in that, and I'm not saying that the parts that were chipped in were cheap. It was just spare parts, but they were still expensive to thing me.
Fuck yeah.
But when you thing me that, and you consider the PC that I got. Now, the PC alone with all the stuff cost me £2,700. It was
rough.
a big fucking investment. My 2 new monitors cost me $500. I spent a lot of money getting this set up because I knew I wanted the upgrade. I had the money and all that. How many people can you turn around and say has got $3,000 sitting there that they could spend on a computer?
I don't.
I know I done over the top. I did not need this to run what I wanted to do. But on the other scale, an £800 computer wasn't enough to simply run an Elgato capture card through it.
Yeah.
That's the worry.
What do you think, Bill? Because this particular hits home to you because I've talked to you countless times about you are looking to get a PC. What do you think of what Chris just said? Like, what's your thoughts?
Exactly. Like I don't have $3,000 to go and buy a PC. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. I don't even have £800 to go and buy a PC at the moment. So yeah, I'm in a predicament where I've just got to deal with what I got. It does its job. It's not at the best quality at what I'd like it to be or what it should be, but it works. You know, obviously the PC will definitely be bought in the future. There's no if or buts about that. There will be a PC bought, but timing of that may be a little later than what I wished for, because I was hoping to have a PC early this year, to be honest, but obviously shit happens. Do you know what I mean? Fucking COVID, price inflations, fucking oh mate, it's been crazy. And yeah, like we were speaking to Chris a little bit just before we started, and the prices of some of these PC parts are just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So like we were saying as well, like trying to build a PC, getting parts like every couple months or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's £300 to £500. I don't have £150 to £200 every month to put away to buy one part every 3 months and then take 2 years to build a PC.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, it brings up an interesting dilemma, because on the one hand, like, streaming is a self-employed profession, right?
Yeah.
So all the cost of production, all the cost is on you, the business owner, right? But that being said, I feel you shouldn't be priced out of the career because of your income bracket. Now there's an argument to be made about, oh well, streaming is kind of could be considered a luxury profession because you got to have a good PC, you got to have, free time where your bills are taken care of while you build up the business. Yep. I get that. Yeah. But I don't think it should be an elitist exclusionary career. Like, anybody should be able to get into the stream game. Like, years and years ago, I had the idea of being a streamer because I used to watch podcasts, and I was like, oh yeah, I should do it. But then I looked at like the equipment and the fact that I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't pull the trigger on it. But once I got into it, once I dipped my toes into it, there was a community of people that helped me out, that raised me up, that taught me stuff. So if you look at streaming on paper, yes, it is sort of an enthusiast career. It is sort of a luxury career, I guess, for lack of a better term, because you do have to make quite an investment. And that's one thing I want to talk to you about, Bill, when I finish my point, is the investment. You do need to invest in like tech, but you also need to invest in like production elements. And for me, I've got 5 or 6 different overlay setups. I have custom emotes. I have custom artwork installed. I have different overlays for different setups, RPGs and podcasts and stuff. You as a console streamer, how do you present stuff? Do you have overlays? Do you have alerts and things like that? How does that work for you being a console streamer?
If you would have asked that question a week and a half ago, I would have said no, I don't have any at all. But there's this site what I use called Lightstream, and so basically you go on there, you sign in through your Twitch, and whenever I click I can set up a load of overlays on there, like which are created through Stream Elements. Copy the URL and send it over to Lightstream. Add it on there. Add the game source. So it's similar to OBS kind of, but it's all done through the internet. It's like through its own like cloud server, if you could put it. So everything's done through the internet. It doesn't take anything from the console or anything like that. It's not too bad. But obviously, you got to go through the stream elements, create your overlays, what you want, how you want it, and then just add it through Lightstream. And then as soon as I click live, it sends it through Lightstream to add all the overlays on top of the game source. And then that's what the viewers see on stream. So yeah, I do have the overlays. I've been working around, like I've changed in the past week and a half, I've changed them like 3-4 times, just trying to find something what fits what I like. But no, yeah, the alerts and stuff like that, it really does help, because there's been times I've been gaming away, like I said earlier, I get really focused in the game sometimes. There's been somebody would pop in chat, drop a follow, and because you don't hear it, it's like I'm just focused away, and then 5 to 10 minutes may have passed. It could have been so concentrated on the game.
Yeah,
they've gone unfollowed. It's like, do you know what I mean? He hasn't got the time, but where now I've got that alert going off, it's instantly I can look over, see what it is, greet somebody, say thank you, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? So it really, really does help having them. Yeah. It really does.
All right, cool. Yeah. That's a great answer, because I heard about Lightstream, but I didn't know anything about it. So that's really cool that that's an avenue for production for console streamers. Chris,
it was Monster that recommended it. But like he's got PC himself. He streams from the PC, so he didn't know how it worked. So I've had to figure all that out myself, like going through setting everything up and stuff like that. It's been a bit of a pain, don't get me wrong, but it's all worked out in the end. Things are still a little bit choppy, as the best way of putting it, but do you know what I mean? For something where I didn't have them before, I can't really complain if it's just a little bit. Do you know what I mean? The quality is not 100%. I prefer it having overlays at 85-90% than not having none at all.
Yeah. I think it is one of the ones that, like, talking about the investment in streaming and stuff, like getting the tech in that is anything. And Dredd does make a good point that all businesses have a startup cost. It's just how it is. I just sometimes feel as if, businesses have a startup cost, but when it comes to like this level of thing, the streaming aspect, you can expect like, well, if you're wanting to make this kind of money and stuff like that, but we're also getting to a point where in order to basically even just play certain games, you need to have top of the line. So it's not necessarily just about the streaming aspect and making money that way. It's about just being able to enjoy. Because was there no a big thing about how the Cyberpunk game that was coming out, in order to play it, you had to have like one of the big fucking chunky GPUs to be able to even run the game.
Well, I got Cyberpunk on release. I did. I got it release day, and I booted the game up, loaded it, and I think I was in game for all of 15 minutes, and it turned off and got it refunded. It was terrible. Cyberpunk release was atrocious. It really was.
That was more just on the fact that they rushed out and they hadn't finished a lot of the patches and stuff.
Yep.
I was more just talking about that the game was built for using a top of the line GPU. So like most computers would not be able to actually run it. So it's like I know that's like one game, but is that going to be the continue on that game developers are going to create games that you need to have top of the line? So then it's less about it being a business investment. It's now being that in order to even enjoy just playing a game, you're going to have big rigs and stuff like that. Because it's like you go into a delivery system, the delivery business. Yeah, there's startup costs, but you're talking £300 to get into we use Courier Exchange and a lot of your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Courier Exchange is £400 for 6 month contract or the use of the app. So you're £400. You can go and get a cheap car. You can go and get a cheap van that costs you a couple of £100 to start you off, be able to run. So like turning around and thinking that you can start a delivery company for half of what the basic PC setup is, and there's more chance of you making a decent amount of money in delivery than in streaming. So it's like it is one of the ones that yes, there has to be an investment, and with streaming especially, a lot of people don't realise that there is a monetary investment. There's a time investment. There's a lot of things like you can't expect that all these apps that are getting created, it's literally going to, you start the app, everything runs. You're going to have to put in the time to be able to learn how to use the system, learn how to change and edit things, add in your own things, research what kind of stuff you want today. Like that's all well and good, but it's still just that kind of way. It's like considering that AMD, is it AMD or AVD? AMD and NVIDIA, the cheapest production GPU that they both have is still like $350. That's the cheapest GPU that either of the big companies actually sell in production. Yeah, you can go on eBay, you can go into second-hand places and get cheaper ones and stuff like that, but it's one of the ones. The biggest companies still outprice a lot of people on the smallest, and I'm pretty sure like when I was looking it up, I'm pretty sure when I looked at that price, the G4 RTX 3060, the MSRP, which is just retail price, is $330. The average price on eBay in September was $700.
Right.
That's what you're buying on thing, because they ones either limited, there's not a lot going about because everybody's bought them up. But even at that, I used GeForce RTX 2060. The RRP is $350. That's for a 2060. You're talking, there's one, I used 1650 GTX 150, but on eBay it's $260.
Right.
So you're like, it's still a lot of money for used. And then you have to go, well, if you buy used at $200, how much use are you getting out of it? Are you going to get 6 months and then it blows? Are you going to get 5 years and be lucky? So it's like that's more the thing where it starts, like, where's the inclusivity of PC gaming? And it's like you were talking earlier about how console gaming has this like almost hate. And it is like there's always been this banter rivalry between PC gaming and console gaming, and then you've got the ones that take it serious, like people that are on console are just the scum, they're poor, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, well, you can turn around and go like, look at all these PC elitists that claim that console gaming's smaller or it's stupid and it's only losers that play it. You're like, well, how many people have a 3070 or a 3080 on their rig? Like the PlayStation 5, I'm pretty sure has got a better GPU than a lot of base set PCs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of streamers that have a PC that actually have a smaller GPU than the PlayStation 5. And it's like, well, who are you talking about being more powerful when your computer couldn't run what the PlayStation runs? And I
Here's
think
the thing,
that's where
what-
it's like stupidly placed hate.
Yeah, that is
Go
the
ahead,
thing.
Bill.
What I do find funny in games, like when a PC player will come across a console player, and you can tell. Do you know what I mean? So if somebody's on console or if somebody's on PC, you just know when you come across them. And I'm like, oh, get the fuck off your fucking shit console, you cheap ass thing, blah blah. Like, how much did you pay for that? It's like, well, yeah, but I paid less than a quarter what you have paid for your PC, and it can do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it can play all my games at better graphics. So.
And the worst thing is a lot of these people are using a controller on their PC to play these games.
I
Do you know
do.
what?
So
That's
it's like,
that's one thing
it's-
that does bug me about this aim assist argument is if that is the case, like for me, I'm talking about Apex. Like
Right.
this is where I'm saying people moan about aim assist and stuff on Apex, right? Fine, let me use my keyboard and mouse. Why can't console players on Apex use their keyboard and mouse, but PC players can use controller? Why is that? Trust me, if I had the option to use my keyboard and mouse or wasn't using my aim assist, I wouldn't, and I'd still slap you. So believe me, if I had the option, I would. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
you get limited. That's another thing. Then limited on console it's only a little thing. But a shooter, if I go on Call of Duty, I can use my keyboard and mouse. Why can't I on Apex? Unless I buy some stupid little adapter or some other bullshit. Do you know what I mean? But why can a PC player use a controller and moan about aim assist, but then don't give us the option to use my keyboard and mouse? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. I think that's just an argument that will never end, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that speaks to, because in the last couple minutes you guys have mentioned some really great points, and I want to touch on them before we go kind of into game releases and kind of get a little more information with Billbob. But I think it touches on the elitist angle. Is it, because Chris mentioned it, the income side of it. You can start up a delivery company and make way more than I've made streaming in the last 3 years in a week. Like Bernadette made, like just this past week, she made triple what I made in a year on streaming. So why is it that, and I don't know if anybody can answer this, but I'm going to throw it out there because it's something that I've been thinking about, is why is streaming so production high but income deficient in the beginning, where if I go work for DoorDash, all I need is my car and I can pull a lot of money? Like, why is there this sort of thing where, like,
I think,
do you know what I'm asking? Go ahead and chime in if you understand.
I think what it is, basically, a lot of with this online entertainment, like streaming and everything like that, they can watch it for free. So why are they going to pay for it? Unless they're getting that satisfaction of, like, they're really enjoying themselves, they're getting the content, what they want, and they actually do want to support, why would they spend the money? Do you know what I mean? So that's where the streamers do suffer. It's like, yeah, they're watching the content, like, but so say you're watching something on Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever it may be, Amazon Prime, you're paying a subscription for it. Otherwise, you ain't watching it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where we're basically doing the same thing. We're providing that online entertainment, but we do have that subscription service, but it's optional. So I think that's where it sits, is a lot of people, they can watch the content for free. So, and obviously everybody has different circumstances, whether they can afford it or they can't. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to get into
and we're not bashing that. We're just asking about the income and quality.
I think that's why, though, because it's a free option. Like, it's the same with YouTube and stuff like that, and Twitch as well. They can watch for free. Yeah, you'll watch the odd ad like every 30 minutes or hour or however the streamer's got it set up. But yeah, like I think it's the case of they have the option to watch it for free.
Yeah, and I think it's also kind of thingied in as well. Like Dredd had said, like this line of business is very, very undervalued, and I think the reason why it costs so much to get into it and the kind of the monetary reward so low is because for a long time technology is still considered like the devil. Like it's still this feared, like intellectual must be bad. These scientists and engineers and stuff like that are coming up with this crazy ideas. It's like it's that, and then like Dredd said, Netflix, $15 a month, and you get way more content than for like you think you pay $5 a month for a streamer. You're only getting that one streamer's content for $5 a month. So you get 3 streamers for 15, whereas you're getting thousands and thousands of movies and TV shows and Netflix. But I think the other thing that one of the issues that I mean I wouldn't even necessarily say it's an issue, but one of the things that you'll see is like I think I have 17 subs now, right? On my Twitch. I think it's 17, but I think Titan gifted like 5. So say I've got 12 subs. But if you also consider that a sub to Haba, Zim, Dox, Billbob, Monster, Anth, that's 6. That's half of my income. But I only get half of Twitch money. So I've already spent my Twitch money income of the month on supporting fellow streamers. And that's only 6 of you. That's not including the other ones that I do also sub to. So I think it's also in a thing that streamers try and support their fellow, like their friends and that as well.
Yeah.
So it ends up that what's happening is you're paying a $5 and I'm getting $2.50, and I'm paying a $5, so you're getting $2.50. So you're swapping over the same $2.50 over and over again for subbing to each other. So you're not actually making it on your subscribers. I know it's when you start getting like when you've got like the 100 views, 500 views, 1,000 views, and you've got the subs that coincide with that. Whereas you're no subbing to 1,000 viewers. You're only subbing to your friends.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's where, like, at this level, your friends are your viewers. So it's the viewers that you're sub to that doesn't break even. It isn't until you start gaining where you've got viewers that you don't sub to, but they sub to you is where the change happens.
Right.
And it's the same with any business. At the very beginning, you're no going it like as I said, you could start a delivery company, pay $400 for 6 months, and get onto the app, and then you buy yourself a van. Like say you spend £500 on a wee cheap van. You're also a fill a tank on a van. You're usually about £160 for a full tank. Now, when I worked at Amazon, I would have to go through about 3 tanks. So you're talking about £500 a week I was paying out on petrol alone. So you're £500 a week on petrol. Then your insurance was coming out at maybe £90 a week because you pay it every month. And then any damages or anything like that you had to pay for your van. So every week you were still paying out £600-700, but the jobs that you were doing, you were maybe bringing in £800. So you're technically making £150-200 profit. But considering the amount of money you're putting out, the amount of work you were doing, because you were doing 45 to 60 hours a week, Monday to Sunday, every day you were out doing your 9 hours to do that, to make that money. And you go, well, I'm only making £200. But see, after a couple of months, you'll then start getting, well, people have actually know you more, so you're going to start getting more work. You'll actually get extra work. You'll be able to put up your prices. So after 6 months, you're actually bringing in £400 a week profit after covering all your costs. Right. And then before you know it, after a year, you can go, do you know what? I can get a second van on the road where I can go to the driver, by the way, you're going to make X amount of money. You'll have to cover this, but you'll have to pay me an extra £100 for me getting you the work. So that driver then makes £300 a week, but you're making the extra £100 on having that extra driver. And that's where you start going, well, if I have 10 extra drivers, I could make an extra £1,000 a week, just pure profit. The drivers are all making £300 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how it all snowballs. But that's having a very, very smart business plan on that. Streaming is a complete other ballgame.
Yes, it is.
You can't guarantee that in a year's time you're going to have 100 subs coming in, and then you
3
go,
years
well,
I've been affiliated.
I can add up this extra channel of content and start drumming up more business that way. Like, you don't have that option. But it's one of the ones that it sounds like a pyramid scheme, but at the end of the day, it does also thing me in that you can then start letting drivers be able to get more and more into their actual stuff. Like with Amazon, especially, Amazon, you don't make any money. See, as a drive or a delivery company owner, you make nothing at Amazon. See, between paying your staff wages, paying your drivers, paying van damages, insurance, petrol, and all this, you literally come out at a loss when you work with Amazon. It isn't until you start spreading out and getting into like DPD, getting into Hermes, getting into DHL, getting into this company, that company, CEX. Like, you can have 35 vans on the road at Amazon and still come away with a loss, because you're coming in with 15 grand worth of fucking damage on 3 vans. Fucking cunts. But it's one of the ones.
I want to jump in. I don't mean to cut you off, but you made a really good point, and I want to hit on that before we lose it. You talk about spreading your business, right? One of the things I've always heard from everybody is, oh, you got to make sure your stuff is on YouTube. You got to make sure your stuff is on TikTok. You got to make sure your stuff is on Instagram. All of that is free. You're not getting income from that.
Not
like
yet.
if you add another business, you have the potential to earn the income from that. But streaming is, for a lot of us, we don't have the time to do that, because one, we're not making the income. We're not making the income to provide us the ability to focus on those other distribution platforms, because we all got other jobs, right? We got kids or we got jobs. So again, it seems like, and if it comes off that I complain a lot about streaming this podcast, I'm not. I'm trying to like highlight some of the difficulties that this career and this profession and this form of entertainment has shown me. Not that I'm ungrateful or anything, but I just want to like kind of give everybody the behind the scenes. But like, having to spread my stuff to YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, it all takes time for what potentially right now is great earnings, but in the reality is I'm not making any extra income for all that extra time I have to spend. I'm doing it, I'm experimenting with it, I'm trying to figure it out. But for guys like Bilbo or Habbo, who's got kids and whatnot, all that extra work isn't seeing any return to the mainstream yet. And it seems like the level of investment for streaming is so much higher because you're a commission-based career. Like, none of us make money if people don't support us by hitting the subscribe button or dropping bits or donos. So to expect us to be able to branch out to other distribution platforms to build our main platform, being Twitch or YouTube or Facebook Gaming, that seems like another barrier and another hill you got to climb, where other businesses don't really have that. Like, I know Bernadette has a couple businesses. She has to do like social media and inventory and whatnot, but she then also doesn't have to worry about YouTube and Instagram, like streaming stuff. She can focus on getting the inventory out and hosting the parties, where like I'm always talking to her, hey, I got to make this, I got to do that, I got to do that, and I got to do that. And then she's like, I would like to branch out to those other avenues, but for the most part, she doesn't necessarily have to branch out where I'm feeling like I have to branch out. Do you understand kind of like what I'm saying? Billbob, why don't you jump in here real quick?
Well, for me on that side, like for me to edit down videos and stuff like that on the console, the editing software it's terrible. It really is. It's so just there's only so many like clips you can add into it. So say you've got one video and it's an hour long, say, you can only cut down 50 clips within the hour. So say you just want to take a load of bullshit out and it exceeds like so sorry, a better way to put it. So the very beginning, you've got a 10-minute segment. Like, well, for me, playing Apex, I've got a 10-minute segment where I pop off in a game. Do you know what I mean? I want to edit down to each fight. You're looking 3 to 4 clips per fight if you want to break it down, like where, say, I pop a heal or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Take an advance, try flank, whatever it may be. I want to try cut that edit down so they're not just watching bullshit. So that's taking up 3 to 5 clips just in one fight. Where if I go into a game where I pop off and I come out with 10 to 15 kills, I'm going to be getting into 7 to 8 fights. There you go. There's all my clips done and I can't edit anymore. Do you know what I mean? So trying to sometimes get that many clips within so many games what you play is hard anyway. And then trying to click the record, because when I'm streaming, it does record and then you'll be able to download it from Twitch and stuff like that. But then me doing that on the tablet and trying to edit it all down on the tablet is going to be a pain. But then, so once that is all done, you get that short enough video that you'll be able to edit down. You're restricted to YouTube. That's the only place you can upload. So it's like, your TikTok, your Instagram, it's hard because you can't upload to them unless you get an external storage and then you like pull it back to my phone and do it that way. And it's just a lot of messing around instead of just opening up your editing software, doing what you need to do and upload it. It's not that. You've got to go through 7 to 8 different things just to try and get 1 2 to 3 minute video.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's a real pain.
Yeah, it makes sense. It does seem like there's a lot of hoops to jump through, even for like PC streamers. We talk about it, but the last thing I want to touch on before we wrap this discussion and kind of move into like, let's ask Billbob a couple more questions and then we'll roll into the happy ending because we're coming up on about 2:10. I want to be out by 3 hours. I want to address this one last thing that I've seen online about console and PC streamers is the mentality and level of like elitism or hate that I see console streamers get. Billbob, you being a console streamer, have you experienced like people just being like, and I know you touched on it lightly, but I want to know if it's like a legitimate thing or if it's just something that's like social media. Do you feel that your viewers that aren't like regulars come in and be like, oh, you're a console streamer, like your quality's worse, your production's worse? Do you get hate because you're a console streamer? Where PC streamers don't tend to get that same level of hate?
No, I've never received hate for it. Do you know what I mean? You get the odd person that will come into chat just trying to waffle some shit anyway. Do you know what I mean? They get told to fuck off, get banned, and you never see that person again. Right. And it's the same with that. If like, I've not had any hate off, oh yeah, fucking console streamer, you shit, you cheap, fuck, whatever it is. I've not had anything like that. And if it was one of them, they'd get told straight away, well, my PS5 can do exactly what your PC can do. Do you know what I mean? I can play my games in better quality than you can on your PC. So you keep dissing on my console. Do what you want. Like it really doesn't bother me. Like the hate towards it, I've not received any. And if it did, like I said, they'd just get told to piss off. They'd get banned, and you'd never see that person again. Do you know what I mean? On to carry on playing on my console. So never had any hate or anything like that.
You don't think that the mentality of like viewership is different because you're a console streamer either?
I don't know what the other side feels like, so I couldn't really say. Do you know what I mean? I've only ever streamed from console, so I don't know. I'd say the viewership is mostly from console like viewers. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of them is a console-based games, unless obviously your main FPS or whatever it may be. Because a lot of other games apart from Apex that I do play are console exclusives. So you will get a lot of them viewers which are console players themselves, unless like it's you guys popping in or some of other streamers that I know, but they have a PC, so they'll have a multiple tabs open. Do you know what I mean? If you while they're editing down or playing or whatever it may be. Do you know what I mean? Where we can never do that.
See,
now I've got my new tablet. I can have a couple people up at the time while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. But yeah.
See, you've just opened yourself up to a world of hate, because every stream that you're live now, I'm just going to come in and go, fucking console loser.
Right? Well, the reason I brought that angle up is because I'm on Twitter a lot for work, which I despise Twitter, but I see a lot of like streamers talking about the hate they got because they're a console player or a console streamer, and I go into random streams all the time to find low view streamers to kind of boost them up, and a couple that I have come across I have seen literally people hate on them because they're a console streamer. Why don't you have a camera? Why don't you have alerts? Why don't you have this? And in my personal experience, when I did start out, when I wasn't running a cam and I didn't have an alert box and I didn't know how to do overlays, I did get quite a bit of hate about it. And my response was like, dude, this is new. Like, I don't know any of this. I'm learning on the job.
You know what? You actually just sparked a memory. I actually did get it once. It was a raid. It was back when I was on PS4 because I didn't have my cam. I started using my cam on release with PS5. So back on when I was streaming on PS4, I didn't have cam, no overlays, no nothing like that. And somebody had raided. I can't remember how many people it was for. But I was in a game and I was, like I said, I get really concentrated. And I was in the game, I was playing, and I didn't notice. I didn't look around to the side to look at the chat, do you know what I mean? Because I'm so... And then obviously they'd raid in, I think maybe 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes had passed by, me just being fucking stupid and not paying attention. That was it. Everybody had gone, you'd load of fucking shit messages in there saying how much of a twat I am and stuff like that. It's like, sorry, mate, what do you want me to do? Do you know what I mean? You don't have these alerts that pop up to let me know that something's happening in chat or the raids come through. Do you know what I mean? I mean, just playing my game, I'm concentrating. Do you know what I mean?
Even at that, but like, I had alerts on my thing, and at the very beginning, I even didn't notice alerts going off because I was focused on playing the fucking game that I was doing. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're streaming a game, you're supposed to time me with chat and all that, but the important part is you're playing the fucking game. Like, chat comes second to the game. You're playing the game. So, like, you always have a wee glance, but there's been plenty of times where, like, I'd missed raids or I missed people subbing or anything like that, and I would go back and, like, you'd say, oh, I'm really, really sorry and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've never really had, like, I've not had hate. I did have one comment on TikTok, which was hilarious, where they said that I can't even play the game right. But apparently they don't like it when you say, well, you can lick my balls. But, like, that was the only time that I actually ever got, like, any sort of message or anything like that to, like, doing that category. Like, it was the same with, like, when we played League the first time, Dredd literally said, by the way, League is one of the most toxic games. Don't let anybody on the other team or anybody else really bother you. And when we started playing it, nobody said there was no shit, there was no toxicity. I had a great time. And it was like, everybody, like, even Zim was like, what happened? Like, why are you having a good time at League? You're not supposed to have a good time playing League.
It's bullshit!
It was like even other things, like, Dredd made a really good point the other day where he said that Apex has got a worse toxic, like, following than League does. Even at that, I've never came across anybody in Apex that's been a cunt, like, who's been on, like, chat, like, just being a dick and all that kind of stuff. The only time I did have one thing was when me and Titan were playing Splitgate, and on Splitgate I always message in and say, like, everybody have a good game or anything like that, and somebody said no. I was like, well, don't have a good game then, sir. Like that's my limit of having a bad time with toxicity, and I feel a little envious and jealous that everybody else is getting this hate and I'm just getting to enjoy gaming. Like, how fucking dare I?
Yeah, it's interesting to discuss the different mentalities of stuff, especially from like being on this side of the camera and then being off stream, because it is interesting because streaming is an odd career or profession or hobby or whatever level you're at, because on some level you're kind of laying yourself out to the keyboard warrior, anonymous, faceless sort of masses, right?
Yeah.
And they're anonymous and faceless until you develop a community and get followers and subscribers, and you're able to sort of find that genuine connection to like your stream, like we talked about earlier. You get your regulars coming into your bar, and I think for a lot of people, and I kind of want to, because we might run a little long, but I kind of want to, like, we're having such a great discussion, but I want to get to some more Billbob questions. But I think for me, it's all from your mentality, how you react to like the mentality of the viewership, to the level of genuineness that you have and being like, look, I missed it. I'm new to the game, right? The whole sort of like, I think, and then the third thing is like, do you mesh those two together, your genuineness and your ability to bring people in so that you can foster community and foster viewership and foster people who want to invest in you? Thoughts?
Well, me personally, that is one thing I am trying to work on within myself, is being more engaging with chat, more interactive, trying to have a more fun feel to when people come in. And so when they're there, they're having fun throughout the whole time, instead of me just greeting them, do you know what I mean, asking what they've been up to like for the day and just seeing that they're all right, and then we get into the game and stuck in there for 10-15 minutes and then we back to chat. I'm trying to mix that in together so it cooperates with each other and it feels more fluid, instead of it being like, right, we're chatting, like we're speaking to chat, we're focused on game, and then it's just back and forth. I want to try and get it more coexist with each other instead of it being two separate things.
Right. What do you think, Chris?
I think like the dream and the want is to always be like genuine and be your own thing, because it must get exhausting trying to be something else on stream in order to bring, because you can only portray that so long, and then the little bits of your true self's going to start coming out. So like I've always decided that from day one, just be genuine, be yourself. If people don't like it, fuck them. Like I really don't have enough hours in the day to give a fuck if you're upset about something that literally cannot be controlled. Or if it was just an opinion kind of thing. Like I know that there's streamers that like get shit because it's like I know it's a different thing, you know, that kind of stuff. If you're a big streamer, it's different, and if you're a big female streamer, it's different. But it's things like, see if you're in like Sweet Anita's channel, like she gets shit because she forgot to close her door. And it's people come in and go, oh, it's really freaking me out, it's my OCD. And it's like, but that's your problem.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a hot-ass fucking room. I'm going to have my door open so I can breathe. Like, it's things like that. Like, that level of shit is just sting me. And then it's other things like people coming in and it's like, you're not playing the game right. I'm not playing the game right. I'm playing the game the way I want to play the game, which is right. Like, games don't have... If the outcome is the same, the game can be played different ways. Right, it's how you play the game to enjoy the game. If you don't like the way somebody plays the game, fuck off and play the game yourself the way you want to play the game. So it's like, I think there's a lot of hate that comes that's just fucking stupid and I don't get it. And then there's other things like, But it's like everything. There's a difference between hate and critique. Like turning around and saying, "Oh, I'd really like turning around and saying, like 9 times out of 10, having a cam is better than no cam." But at the same time, you also have to have the understanding that there's reasons why certain people don't have cams.
Facts.
Then and thing so it's like it's no something to hate. Yes, it's an opinion. It might be a favoured thing for you, but at the end of the day, there's other reasons as to why things are that way. So why the fuck are you hating stuff? Like, it's simple to turn around and go, "Oh, why do you not have a camera?" And like Habba said, coming in and say, "Oh, why do you not have a camera?" See, once you say, "I don't have a camera because such and such," conversation's done.
Yeah.
You turn around and going, "Oh, but I would prefer." I really don't give a fuck what you would prefer. I'd prefer if you went and stuck a spindle up your ass and fucked off. We're not going to get that, so we're both at a loss here. So there's just things like that where it's like pointless hate, which I always find stupid. And if I ever found someone, and I know that you can have randoms that come into your stream and all that kind of stuff. They're just they're randoms. But if I found, like, if I ever found out that Dox was in somebody else's stream harassing them and being a dick, it's the last thing I would do with Dox. Because there's a difference between having banter and just like the streamer being involved in the jokes and stuff like that, if it's like an ongoing thing. But if you were to go into somebody's chat and just be a cunt for the sake of being a cunt, I don't want to know you. I don't want you in my community. I don't 100%. Want to work with you. That's it. And again, everybody was like, "Oh, but people have the right," and it's like, yes, and I have the right to associate with them or not. So absolutely. It's like, you can be a cunt all you want, but I'll tell you to fuck off and have nothing to do with you. That's just how it is.
Right. Guys, just before we get into any more questions or any other topic, I just need to nip to the restroom quickly.
Okay. We can vamp for a minute or two.
Yeah, literally, I'll only be a second.
So, well, Billbob dips out. Chris, let's talk about some quick, like, real punchy, like, hit releases real quick. Did you see anything, or did you have a chance to see anything that might be catching your eye?
Not necessarily, because I put a lot of my games in last week.
Yeah, I figured, but I wanted to ask you before I kind of jumped in.
No, go ahead. You can take this one.
I only put in 2 releases this week because I wanted to keep it for November. So, and I do apologize. There has been some internet issues this stream a lot. The weather's really shitty here, so there has been drop frames, but the audio version should be seamless, and like when I upload the video to YouTube and send it to Chris, it should be cleaner. I'll have to double check, so I do apologize for that, but it's the internet, nothing I can do about it, but I appreciate you guys sticking around. So here's a cool thing. Game releases, I got 2 of them. It says one of them is Century Age of Ashes or whatever. I don't remember the name off the top of my head. Yeah, Age of Ashes. Century Age of Ashes is a free-to-play multiplayer dogfighting game. But here's the twist. You're on fucking dragons.
Oh, right, okay, right. I like when you said the dogfighting game, and I was like, I don't think that's going to go well.
No, not like dogfighting, but like aerial dog. I got. So yeah, it's a free-to-play multiplayer game. You literally take a character, jump on a dragon, and fucking blow each other up out of the sky. So it's like aerial dog fighting on dragons. Like, how could that be bad? Like, if the game is shit, it's shit. But like the concept, very cool. It comes out in an early release, November 18th. It's free to play. There's a couple characters right now. Yeah, right. But you jump on a dragon, you're wearing armor, you're throwing like shit at other players. Come on, the environment looks cool. It's super deep. The other one I wanted to touch on was Alchemical Cutie. The reason I brought up Alchemical Cutie is it reminded me of huge Stardew Valley vibes. Right? In Alchemical Cutie, you're a slime like farmer guy, and you get to like raise slimes. But it's got that pixel art style of Stardew Valley. You can like go fishing and have your slimes compete in competitions, and you build out your slime ranch. There was a game in a way similar to this called Slime Rancher a couple of years ago, but this has got like, you actually breed the slimes, you actually make the slimes, you actually like set up their traits and things like that. And it's got that sort of Stardew Valley chill, I'm a slime creator kind of vibe. And it's won a ton of indie awards, so it's got that indie cred that I like, you know, because I'm an indie snob. So I've been called by some people. But yeah, Alchemical Cutie comes out on the 12th. All of them are available on Steam. They look really great. I wish I had more time to research them in depth, but like I said, car accident and insurance and shit. But I would definitely, if you're into either like dragon dog fighting, free to play multiplayer PvP stuff, check out Century. It is in early access. If early access is in your jam, I get it. Don't worry about it. But definitely take a look at Alchemical Cutie if you like Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, shit like that. That's definitely the vibes I got off of those. What do you think, real quick, Chris?
Well, first of all, what I'm going to do is do something that you should have done and put them in chat.
You know what? I'm a little busy.
People
Okay?
have got a brain and are able to remember the simplest of tasks.
You know what? Fuck you.
But no, the Alchemic Cutie actually does look like, it looks like my kind of game where I would just like be able to just enjoy and just chill, because you know me, I'm into like my Banished and my City Skylines and my gas station simulator. But I mean the Century Age of Ashes, like, yeah, it has like the good things, and I'm good at dragon. So
right, you're good at dragon. Right.
Drag these balls.
Drag these balls. All right, Bill, we got a couple questions before we jump into the happy ending that we want to touch on, especially when we have a guest. So just hit them up best you can. We'll move through them kind of quick, and you can do the best you can. So real quick, what's the first game you ever remember playing? Like not on stream, just game. Like what's your first game?
Oh bloody hell! I just about remember last week, to be honest with you. I believe the first console, obviously it was a console that I first played on, obviously. I believe it was the PS1 back in like the early 2000s. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the first console I had played on. As for the game, I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
Fair enough, man. Okay.
I can just about remember another game other than Apex, what I'd played recently. It's all just been Apex.
That's fair. That's fair. We talked a lot about streaming as a career and the ups and downs of it, but like what's like, what do you got future plans? Like, what are you thinking? Like, do you have any ideas for the future? Do you have any like things you'd like to see moving forward?
Obviously, like with streaming, obviously making this full time would be obviously the end goal. Do you know what I mean? Just for as anybody streaming, I know a lot of people just do it as like a little side hobby. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, through streaming, I would like to make it full time, be able to do it as a job. But other than that, like apart from streaming, like going full time and being able to do that, I do want to try and open up my own food place of some sort, whether it be a restaurant or like a little pop-up shop going around like the country, or even having like a food truck going to all different events and football games, concerts, all that kind of stuff up and down the country. So if anything, if it was to be like my own business wise other than streaming, it would probably be something to do with food, like I said, restaurant, food truck. Because then if I was to have the food, I'd be able to travel a lot more as well, go and see a lot more sites, go to like loads of events, and yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, last question. Let's see.
Last question. Do you want to become famous? Because if so, you can buy followers and viewers on bigfollows.com.
Yeah, I'm working on banning that. Ass. All right, hang on.
Your question, Billbob.
Okay. All right, so let's end the interview on this question. All right. With all the ups and downs we've talked about, with all the highs and the lows and the barrier to entry and all the hoops we got to jump through streaming, what keeps you pushing? Why do it?
See improvement in myself, to be honest, because I watch my streams back, and me personally, like, this is just what I think myself. I wouldn't sit there and watch me. So for the past, say, few months, I've been watching the streams back after every stream, making sure that there's been some sort of improvement within the stream. Because if I wouldn't sit there myself and watch me, why would other people?
Facts.
So that's the thing I'm trying to improve on myself. Like at the moment, that's the most important thing, because I was at the point where literally I'd play the rerun of my stream. Like after I'd ended, obviously I would say I'd done a raid, I've hung out with the stream or whatever for a little bit. I'd watch some of the stream back, like before I go to bed, or watch it the next morning. And at the start, I'd get 2 minutes in, and as soon as I hear my voice, I'd turn it off straight away. I couldn't do it. So I'm getting to the point now where I can actually watch a full playback and be fine. Do you know what I mean? It's like, right, okay, I can change this. I could work on this tomorrow, or maybe it's obviously it's still playing the same game, but just try and like implement something new or create a challenge in the game. Do you know what I mean? Just try and improve within myself, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. What about you, Chris? Anything to add to that?
No, I think that is like I can see with the difficulties that come with like you just said there, like you're having to play the same game. Like that is another issue with the console games. Is like on PC you can go into a place like CD Keys or something like that and pick up a game for $5. You can go into Steam and you can get games on the cheap or anything like that. When it comes to console games, you're having to buy like. Sony are charging you 60, 70, 80 pounds for the new Warzone game, whereas you can jump on one of these other sites or even get a sale. And it's rare that Sony have a lot of good things like the PSN and the PS Plus and stuff like that, which is like £8 a month, £5 a month, and you get decent. It's like the Game Pass for Xbox, but it is like. I think that's a good way. Like that's a good reason to want to keep on going is. Like wanting to continue to improve yourself, not just in a streaming standpoint, but like you said, you use streaming to be able to meet new people and kind of get yourself out your comfort zone and stuff like that. That is a good way to using streaming. Is it can help with your mental health. It can help with so many other things that it might not be for monetary gain. It might not be like the hard truth is. You might not make it as a top streamer where you can do this full time. You might not be able to make decent money on this platform and all that. Yep. But if the other option is being able to do more things in real life because you're able to push yourself, you've been able to push yourself out of your comfort zones, you've been able to meet new people that has now allowed you to be able to travel more, go and meet people, go outside and be more you. That is a good kind of byproduct of streaming.
Something that's definitely come out of it is it's well and truly improved my social anxiety. Well and truly like smash through the ceiling. Do you know what I mean? Like literally I could walk down the street and just have a conversation with a random person. Where 2 years ago I didn't even go out my door other than work. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was it. I wouldn't speak to nobody unless I was on the game, like, and tell them to fuck off at this shit. And do you know what I mean? Apart from that, that was it. There was no socializing with anybody other than the missus and my kids and going to work. But you don't go to work to make friends. You go to work to earn your paycheck. You go home. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you can meet friends through work, and I have done like that. I'm still friends with now from old jobs and stuff like that. But you get a job to go and earn your paycheck, come home, pay your bills. It's as simple as that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like, I always got called, well, not called anything, but I always got took the piss out of because I never used to go to like staff, like night outs and stuff like that. It's like, well, no, I come to work to earn money, not go to work to spend money.
Facts.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, even buying lunch and shit in work, it's like, no, I'd rather not eat anything, wait till I go home and get a nice dinner. Do you know what I mean? Just buy a bottle of water or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's what's the point going spending £5 to £10 on a lunch while you're in work? Save that £5 to £10, go home and just have a nice cooked meal.
Facts.
Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%. I agree. So, for those of you that are new to the podcast or been a long time listener, really like to rack words. We like to wrap up the podcast with happy endings. It's basically some positive stories that we feel need to be elevated. We like having guests on because we like to get their perspective on the happy ending too. So this week, I think you started last week, Chris, so I'll start this week, or really doesn't matter. Do you want to go first or should I?
No, and you go. Like,
all right, cool. So this week, I picked a, kind of an easy one that I like to harp on a lot. I'm a big nature guy. So this week I was perusing the happy Good News Network. I get all my good news from the Good News Network. Shout out to them guys. And I'm a big fan of like conservation and nature. And one of the article this week talks about sea turtles and how conservation is actually paying off, especially in Western Africa. Let me just pull up the article real quick and I'll give you sort of like a primer. So it says, dramatic boom in nesting sites of sea turtles as conservation in West Africa pays off. Cape Verde is where the article is centered, and it talks about how from 2015 to 2020, there's been a 2,000% increase in sea turtle nesting sites, going from as low as 10,725 turtle nesting sites to over 200,000. So not only has this benefited the turtle population, like the sea turtle population around Cape Verde, but it's also been beneficial for the country. And conservation has been a big boom as a whole, because one of the shifts that made this such a successful effort was people who were caught poaching or had been convicted of poaching didn't get jail time. They were given community service, and the community service was, you now have to work the nesting sites with the conservation teams. So these poachers learned that the animals that they were poaching have life cycles and various other things. They weren't just viewed as a commodity. So basically, in a way, this is going to sound weird, but it humanized the sea turtle in a way to these poachers. So as they worked with these rangers to protect what they were killing, it educated them to alternative means. The other thing that really works successfully is shifting the perception of sea turtles as food items and delicacies to the people of West Africa to living, viable creatures that will benefit the environment and bring in avenues of tourist money outside of food and poaching, because people are going to want to come and see these motherfucking animals. Yeah. And there's a lot of criticism around conservation, whether it's effective or not, whether the methods are effective. And this just proves that conservation is a valuable tool to where humans and animals can live, like cohabitate together, to where the sea turtle can flourish and Cape Verde can flourish as a byproduct of the sea turtle flourishing. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's like a lot of the conversation that we have with the happy endings as well. Like, every time we've talked about like conservations or anything that helps the environment, one constant thing that comes up is how it's also helping the infrastructure of the locations if it's happening, be it with influx of tourism, influx of like businesses coming to be able to kind of work, like hotels and stuff like that. So it's like it's another win in the sense that yet again the numbers in like the sea turtles and the nesting and all that kind of stuff are rising. Poaching is coming down, but the area is also seeing the gain in like more tourists coming down, therefore like more hotels, restaurants being built. That means that more jobs are being created, all because we stopped killing turtles. Seems so simple when you think about it now. Like, once it's happening, like, save a turtle, get a job.
Facts.
And we talked about last week when we were talking about like punishments for things like people being racist and that there's no hate speech law in like America and stuff. And Dredd had said that it doesn't feel as if like jail time should be the only option. And I'd said that sometimes it's because that's the only option that's available to be able to think that it's the only option that would work. And this kind of proves me wrong in the sense that, well, there is other ways that, like you said, like the poachers are getting put into these to go and work with the Rangers instead of jail time, and it's kind of teaching them. And it could be another byproduct of like, well, we could implement that sort of punishment in other places, like be it racism. Like, I know it's a constant. Like a guy harasses a woman, and they've got all these classes for don't be sexually harassing people and all that. And it's like, well, that's got to a point where the classes have to be better because the classes aren't working. But like, this is a good thing of, well, this worked. Maybe this is something that we can start looking to implement into other avenues, especially in like poaching situations throughout kind of like the world. So,
what do you think, Bill? Any idea? Any thoughts?
Well, I guess like anything on that side, you know what I mean? If there's drastic, like, what did you say it was? It's only a couple thousand to over 200,000.
Yeah,
like,
roughly a little over 10,000 to 200,000 nesting sites.
Like, that's a dramatic increase. Do you know what I mean? So, like, literally, it's maths is no good at the moment, but yeah, that's insane. So to see that amount, if they could implement that into other species as well, not just the turtles, and obviously get it into other, obviously it'd be different for other species, obviously, but if you could get that and increase it everywhere, because you can see all these different species that are near extinct, going extinct, do you know what I mean? So if you could make a lot of these species that are, like, build all these conservations for them, it'd be amazing. It really would. Build all the populations back up and get the animal life thriving again.
Yeah, I think one of the major takeaways from this article, especially like when I talked about it, is the alternative to jail time, right? And the education of not only the poachers but the population as a whole. Because it said getting the poachers to work with the rangers to protect them was a huge key, but also shifting the population's view of sea turtles food when other food isn't available, or it's not a delicacy in a restaurant to be served or whatever, also contributed majorly to the resurgence of it. And I think it, like Chris said, it's a huge takeaway if you can use something as sort of a punishment as an education, I guess.
Yeah, that is exactly what they done. They used the education instead of the punishment, and I guess it worked out. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of more cases that could help in too. Like Chris was saying, do you know what I mean? You could take that aspect over into plenty of other things,
like racism and abuse situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can think of off the top of my head the racism thing. Like, if you have like an out and out racist who's done just nasty shit, go make them do community service for the classic example. If you got a racist white dude hating on a black family, make that white dude do community service at the inner city community center where he sees the struggle, like he experiences it. And that could raise, change perspectives. And I think applying that principle, or that where we can, would be great in other avenues as well, like Chris said and you highlighted. So I don't know, there's not much more I can say about this article. Normally we have a more discussion about it, but it's just real to the point. Look, this is what we did. It worked. No debate, no discussion. It's a proven fact that these methods work. Move forward. Here's the proof. And I think that's great, because who doesn't want to be on a beach somewhere and have a friendly sea turtle roll by and go, "What's up, dude?" Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I want to knock in a turtle. Like, that's everybody's dream since Finding Nemo.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Finding Nemo one for the kids and that. Like, you see that little noggin, dude. It's like, it's great.
Crush! Exactly. Yeah, it's great. I love that article. It was a simple, clean one, and I felt it was great to touch on. But Chris, you got one too. Why don't you hit us up with it?
Yeah, right. Mine's is slightly outdated so far. It's not completely up to date because this came out in the 4th, so it's 3 days more of COP26. But obviously, COP26 is happening in Glasgow. Traffic is fucking terrible and diabolical. But there's good things that are coming from it, right? Obviously, COP26 is the global climate summit that many of the world leaders kind of have came to Glasgow, got together, where they're literally tackling the climate issues. of the world, not just the fucking Western world and the first world countries. Like, literally, they're trying to think. Some of the, like, so far, like, now, it's actually been quite amazing because this is 3 days in, right, for this thing. And they said, fortunately, most of the major stories of real note are positive ones. There have been commitments to conservation, Indigenous peoples' rights that deserve mention, including expansion of the Galapagos Marine Reserve. Right, so like some of the highlighted ones that they've got is like the green energy and financing. South Africa, a major carbon emitter, has signed a financial deal with some G7 countries worth $8.5 billion to help end its reliance on coal, as it is the 12th largest consumer in the world. So there's South Africa getting involved. Let's start making a difference. 40 parties, including the US, India, Australia, Turkey, and the EU and China, have signed on to a UK-led initiative to increase worldwide access to affordable renewable energy by 2030. That's, 9 years away?
Yeah.
That's a big fucking deal, especially considering like the first one with South Africa's reliance, 12th largest consumer in the world of coal. So be able to create renewable energy to the likes of like South Africa and the smaller nations that are still reliant on coal is a massive fucking difference, especially if they're creating a big thing. The UK Chancellor of the Exchequer said that by 2023, so just over 2 years, or just under 2 years, I'd say, the island nation will be the first to force all publicly traded companies to release plans on how they intend to achieve net zero. Because obviously the goal is to become net zero on carbon emissions.
100%.
So the fact that the UK have kind of said that all publicly traded companies must show the plans to become net zero by 2023 is another major move. 450 global firms will form the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero and announce membership on Wednesday, while the managers of 40% of the world's total investable assets have signed up to a 2050 net zero goals, including limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees. So they're saying by 2050 they want to be net zero, which, considering, is a big thing. I know Scotland have announced that they're hoping to be net zero by 2040 or 2045. I don't know the exact numbers, but again, everybody's moving in. But moving on to the conservation, which I know is your favourite part, Dox. A Lake Michigan-sized area of ocean connecting the Galapagos and the Cocos Islands of Costa Rica has been added to the Galapagos Marine Reserve, totaling 23,000 square miles, which is about 8 times the size of Yellowstone, and protecting a marine superhighway of transiting sharks, rays, tunas, turtles, and whales. So that's a massive fucking part of the ocean where they've went, you're not allowed to do shit here, fuckers.
Yeah, exactly. That's amazing.
That's good. Yep.
Even better. And then there's another one, world leaders who control roughly 85% of the world's forests. This is my favourite bit, right? Have pledged to end forest loss in this decade, for which they have apportioned 19.2 billion in private and public money. That means that by the end of this decade, so 9 years or 8 years, say, they'll literally stop or end forest loss, which is deforestation through agricultural means, through industry means, building new houses and all that. They'll stop doing this, which is a massive fucking thing. And then 1.7 billion has been apportioned by the UK, US, Germany, Norway, and the Netherlands to give directly to Indigenous people to aid in their substantial contribution to forest and land conservation. Because let's be honest, the Indigenous people are the ones that are living within these forests. They want to keep these fucking forests. So the fact that these governments are seeing that and going, we're going to give money to these communities in order to kind of help them in their conservational kind of what they are already doing, which again is a great thing, that the fact that they're actually fucking doing something against it. The last two bits that have came out is President Biden joined 100 nations in the signing of a plan to cut methane emissions by 30%, which will be accomplished through the scaling back of fossil fuel production. say it lasts only 12 years in the atmosphere, but it's being considered as a way to buy time for the CO2, which can stay in the atmosphere for up to 1,000 years.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So it's like, it is a big thing. Like, taking out the methane is a faster process than the CO2, but it can be a major fucking thing as well. So cutting the methane emissions will give more time to be able to do stuff. And the last thing is, at the start of the conference, India, which has up until this point been without a major emissions reductions target, committed to zeroing national emissions by 2070, which they say demonstrates real leadership from a country whose emissions per capita are about 1/3 of the global average. Obviously, because such a massive country, population-wise,
and they're so dependent on vehicles.
India's
so dependent on vehicles.
Yeah, that's one of the things that it is. But the fact that they're now involved in this, and they've went 2070, we want to be a zero emissions for CO2, net zero. That's the kind of progress that we're at that point where you have to start going. Progress is progress. Doesn't matter if it's quick or it might think some countries are going to take longer. Like the whole emission, like a lot of people are arguing that China have this massive emissions thing, but when you actually consider, like, there's some things like, see if China make the iPhone, but it then gets sent to America who use the iPhone, the emissions are still put through China. So it's still China that are to blame for those emissions, even though it's America or UK consumed products.
Right.
Whereas if the industry was in the US, it would come through the US.
100%.
But at the same time, I'm sure there was somewhere that said that China have improved their forest land by like 50%.
Yeah,
so,
I think I did see that somewhere.
Even though their emissions is high, as a high population, they're actually not as high as other countries. They're actually, like, I'm pretty sure, like, there's countries above them that actually produce more CO2 emissions because China have, like, nuclear power. They all ride bikes. They've got a lot more forest areas now where they're growing more greenery and stuff like that. So in actual fact, for being a country of such size, their CO2 emissions are actually a lot smaller than the likes of, like, India or America or
even us over here.
Yeah, so I think with this COP26, it's been more kind of driven in that it's not a political statement. It's not China's is worse than America or America's is worse than Russia. It's we've all fucked it. We need to fix it.
Facts.
Like, let's stop blaming cunts and let's actually start doing things because we're all to blame. And I think that's what I'm taking away for this COP26 is that politicians are actually starting to understand that we're all to blame. And it's no, like, for so many times, like, I don't know if you guys used to, or Docs, if you used to get it, but in the UK, the advert that used to cut about is, remember to switch off your light, because if you don't switch off your light, you're killing this fucking sea turtle air here with your emissions. And you're like, well, hold on. New York is lit up. Las Vegas is lit up. Paris is lit up. Blackpool's fucking lit up. London's lit up. Why is it me leaving my fucking light on that the problem is here? Like, no. It's the fact that Las Vegas for 24 hours a fucking day for the last 30 years has been lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. You switch your lights off, fuckers.
Exactly. Yeah, we did get those adverts, so that's amazing to hear because we've talked about it on the podcast before. We got one Earth right now, and there ain't any other options, so we better fucking fix the shit that's going wrong. Otherwise, Mother Nature's gonna fix it for her goddamn self. So I like how COP26 is basically saying, this ain't political. We're all in this shit together. And if anybody knows me, I'm not like a one world government conspiracy guy, but like there are times where people need to put their shit aside and be like, all right, well, let's fucking go to work. And I think with the way COP26 has got these countries to commit and they've got realistic, it seems like on the surface from what I read and a little bit into it, it seems like the goals aren't unrealistic or unachievable, especially with the money that's being raised and the commitments that are being given. If those target numbers can be hit, maybe my grandkids, if I have anybody, which I don't want any, but if they have them, great, cool, I'm fine. They might actually enjoy a little part time themselves instead of being stuck inside of a house.
Yeah.
What do you think, Bill?
No, yeah, definitely. Like, just any improvement in any case will work, to be honest, because obviously, as you both know, the world in a fucking shit show at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Especially like with this pandemic that we're coming sort of to the end now. I know some places have recently still been in lockdown and stuff like that, but in the UK, we've been out of lockdown for a while now. We're coming to some sort of normality here, but other like talking about the COP26, yeah, that's just amazing. Literally, they bringing everybody in, like you said, Docs. It's not just everybody's putting the problems aside and coming together to actually sort. Because, like I said, we're all on this planet. Do you know what I mean? There's only one of them. We're all living on this rock together. Do you know what I mean? So we all have to do something to help out. Do you know what I mean? It's not just one place do something for everybody else. Do you know what I mean? We all have to take our own part and help out any way we can, really. Because, like you said, the way things are going, Mother Nature's going to fucking take a toll and switch it up and proper take things back to how she wants. You know what I mean? So, yeah, things do need improving, definitely. And by the looks of it, it's in the works. It's in the works.
Yeah, no, 100%, man, 100%. So, this is the point of the time where we kind of wind things down and wrap things up. But first off the bat, I want to say I do realize that there have been some stream quality dips throughout the stream. Unfortunately, I live in the Northwest. It's raining like a motherfucker. And as much as I am a technical guy, I can't control the internet. So I do appreciate you guys sticking through with the buffering and whatnot. Hopefully the video quality doesn't suffer as much when I pull it down and check it. I do know the audio has been clean throughout. There have been some background noise issues, which I'll be able to edit out. My son, who's usually not in the workshop, is a little louder than normal, so the crosstalk was a little bit. But I do apologize for that. But we'll clean it up best we can. Everybody who's stuck around through some of the technical up and downs, we appreciate you. Chat conversation has been great, but I want to thank our guest, Billbob, for being here. Good perspectives on things. Great conversation. Bill, can you do me a favor? Plug your stuff, who you are, where they can find you, what you do.
First of all, I just want to say thank you again for having me on here. It's been a while. I've been wanting to come on. Very nervous though. Like just as we were starting, I was very nervous. We say to Chris, but literally a couple minutes and it's all been a breeze, man.
We're all friends. It's all good.
Yep. I'm Billbob Gaming. I stream over on Twitch Monday through Saturday. Twitch.tv/Billbob Gaming. I play a lot of Apex, as you've heard me talking about. So yeah, if you're ever free, you want to watch some FPS, come over, stop by, say hi in chat.
He's really good. Just, when he starts to get a little salty, roast him, be like, hey, calm your shit down, God damn it.
Yeah.
Billbob's great. I love it. You definitely should give Billbob a follow. Chris, tell the people who you are, where they can find you, brother. You know the drill.
Yeah, well, I am Chris. You can literally get me on every platform at ChrisC90. Be it like YouTube, where like I'm not as active as I really should be. I have to get my
Neither am I.
Twitch, again, I have to get my finger out and start doing it. TikTok, I've actually been doing TikTok and putting up some things. So like,
yes, your TikTok's been really good lately.
To be honest, I think the most thing I'm active on is Twitter.
Yeah, you really are.
Hilarious.
You're way more active than I am.
Yeah. But yeah, you can get me on there. I know, Sam, I'll get into it. But yeah, I'm going to start. There's going to be changes in my personal life, so
I can't wait for that announcement.
A lot more kind of stuff done, and then we'll see what it is. But yeah, ChrisC90 across everything, and you can get us at drunktank.com, where we have all the episodes, all the contacts, all the everything to be able to contact us there.
Yep. And everybody knows me. I'm the old great hair of the group. I'm DoxRyan. You can find me across all major platforms. Instagram, which mostly my Instagram is dog and food. Twitter is mostly like random shit where I'm like, oh, I'm going live, or I'll randomly interact with somebody. TikTok. I need to get back into making TikToks because I was making some ground, but I kind of got bored with it. I was like, But, you know, you can find me across all things. Twitch, you find me 5 days a week on Twitch. My schedule's posted at the end of all my streams. It's located on my Twitter profile. So, hey, man, we appreciate the conversation. We appreciate you being here. Follow Billbob, follow Chris, follow myself, follow everybody in chat if you're a streamer or a viewer or you're active. We appreciate you guys again being here. And again, I apologize for some of the technical difficulties that I couldn't control with the internet being the internet. So, guys, do me a favor. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Everybody, thank you. Take care. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon.